Hello, hello. Hey, C17R. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. It is Monday morning. We are starting a little bit early today because I happen to be ready. And I did my hair differently because I showered yesterday. Clearly, I was not first, but I'll take it. Well, first to click the button. Hope you both had a great weekend. Yeah, we are finally out of stabilization phase and into working on a new game. We are working on checkpoint 3, and I've got the plans here somewhere. Yeah, this stuff. So we're going to be working on these. It's kind of one game, it's kind of two games, it's kind of three. But anyway, this game. And then the other three, I think will probably start in a few weeks. Because I think this one's going to take a while. And a few weeks would put us into like early September, I guess. Yeah, we might have time to add even more than this. I'm not sure. Hey, David. Went outside and went to talk to people. Can you imagine? You went to some kind of talking to people convention? I can't imagine. What is this? All right, so let's look at our tenets. Sustainability. I think it was, didn't I like skip Tuesday of last week? I did. Because I was working on Sunday? Yeah. That was a week ago? Man. Wait, no, but I kind of covered that in my tenets. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned last week that it was a bit rough. I had worked 2 Sundays. I had worked on the Sunday before the prior tenets, and as a result, I ended up taking Tuesday off the stream. I still did work, and I think it went well to do that. I'm hoping that we're back to normal this week, though. Breaks, yeah, still great. And then grit. I think getting through the rest of the stabilization phase wasn't the easiest thing. The tasks just started getting a little bit boring. But now we should be back to regular game development. Also, game design went really well. They call it a barbecue party. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really nice. I was thinking about how the weather is starting to shift here. Like we just went on our walk and it's really pleasant, like really, really pleasant. Like this is probably the best weather. It's not sunny, it's not cold, it's not hot. It's just nice to be outside. And my wife said, it feels like fall already. And I was like, I guess about a month before the season officially starts by the calendar year, it feels like the season starts in terms of weather. So yeah, it's like sort of the end of summer. Nice to get in the last barbecue or go out on the water or something. Hey, Cuttlefish. All right, so this is done. I'll add this here too. I think, okay, and then random SOC notes. So from what I've been reading, codex usage has been kind of nerfed a bit. So like this has 82% remaining, but, and I don't know what to trust, and I got to just try this for myself. But people were saying that this is more like half of what it really is. And if that's the case, I need to figure out what I'm going to do to supplement the rest of my AI usage. I kind of wanted to try some different models just to see. And there's something called Open Code Go. And I looked into this a while ago. I was like, what if it was my main thing? I think as a main thing, it probably doesn't make sense. But to like try this out, it's got a bunch of different models you can access. Yeah, I wonder if any of them are good or like I could supplement when I do run out. Is anything decent? Should I? Anyway, so I kind of wanted to mess around with that. The other thing I was thinking about is I have Jump Royale as the only stream game right now. I think it'd be kind of cool to make like 2 to 3, well, maybe not 2 to 3, maybe 1 to 3 more stream games and use AI for game design as well, just to see what it would be like. Like, how does it transform what I'm doing? So, yeah, maybe we'll set aside some time for that too. Not this week or not even today, but yeah, at some point. I think that'd be kind of neat. Hey, Nine. So yeah, I suspect we're gonna go through all of this pretty quickly in the next day or two. And then, like I said, we could always like upgrade to the $100 plan, or I could try Open Code Go, or I could, I don't know, figure something else out. It's probably one of those two things. Actually, you know what? They started apparently selling resets. I don't see. I don't have access to that apparently. People are taking pictures online about it. Hey Goose, happy Monday, Mr. Adam. Hope you had a good weekend. I did. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do more just regular work, but I was productive in other ways instead. But yeah, I was like, man, I'm excited about what we're doing today. Quen is pretty good. We're checking out LM Studio and Bionic. Main thing you'll notice is reduction in capability, significant speed difference. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to give this a shot and see how it works. But this is assuming that we run out, which I probably will. The reset is August 20th. Yeah, so 3 days from now. I mean, granted, it's in the morning, so it's really like 2 days from now. Kind of. Using OpenGo Go right now. What's your favorite model with it? And have you tried the Frontier models like it's Soul and Opus and Fable? Because I'm kind of wondering how it compares. They don't need to be one-to-one. I just got to be able to get some stuff done. Anyway, okay, going back to this. Yeah. So things to make sure of. You enter a sidekick, the mechanics are weird. When you enter again later, you'll be a different character with slightly different mechanics. So we got to do the new sub-game boilerplate. Start with the new sub-game boilerplate and write a note about what this takes. I mean, generally AI is going to do it, but I still want to make sure we've modified everything. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I looked up all these different things yesterday just to figure out like what are people talking about, what are they using? And there are a lot of offerings out there. There are even some like free ones, and then there's some that I forgot what it was called, but it would compile a list of the free ones that you could get so that you could just keep using AI for free. But I think the limits are probably bad for each individual one, and the thinking is probably bad, and the speed is probably bad. But hey, free is better than nothing, right? Okay, so we got to get the graphics first. I downloaded these somewhere here, maybe. Yeah, at least I started to put it there. And I think I started putting it in here. Edward. Okay. Minimax M3 and GLM 5.2. Currently using Luna since OpenGo has a 2x usage. Oh, cool. Okay. So you like Luna better than the other two? Part of the reason I ask is like I have access to Luna. I do use it. But for some tasks, I feel like I want to use Soul. All right, so graphics, like I said, I think we're going to start with this Archer character. I don't think we're going to keep it as is, so let's just figure out, like, do we want green hood or red hood? Just open up any of these, it doesn't matter. Actually, it truly doesn't matter, right? Yeah, so, because we're going to change all of this regardless. All right, top of this, let's just let chat decide. Red or green. Red, green. There. All right, vote in the poll. You get to determine which graphics we start with. Hey, Phil. Lots of people are gushing over Luna Max lately. Yeah, I haven't tried Luna for tasks I would normally give to Soul. I didn't see green. Oh, let me. We're not keeping either of these in the game, so it truly doesn't matter. I could have listed colors that don't even exist yet. But yeah, here's red. Here's green. The reason I say it doesn't matter is because you can customize your colors in the game. So like eventually we're going to wipe out the entire sprite. All right, well, this is unhelpful. All right, I'll just copy one of them over since they're tied right now. And is there some kind of guide for what is what in here? Or do I need to like figure this out myself? I probably need to figure it out myself. Hey, Krasner. Hope you laugh a lot this week. Thanks. You too. 3 versus 3. Yeah, I'll just pick red. It's fine. And hey, Jerry Dean. Okay, so red. I mean, even skin color doesn't matter here because you can customize that too. So like none of this really made a difference. Red was my vote. Excellent. You won. Okay, so what are we calling this? Sprites, characters. So this is a new game. You're actually in the combination. Maybe we do call this Sidekick in Space. I kind of like that idea. Yeah. Hey, McGav. What do you use to make games? Would you ever use Godot? I'm using Godot. Yeah. I use Godot in C Sharp. That command that I typed in will eventually respond. It's on YouTube, so it takes like 5 seconds. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, what do we call the folder for this? It's technically the Metroid Vania, which I think I wrote down our code name we wanted to use. Backtracking platformer. Yeah. So Sidekick in Space kind of accommodates both, but otherwise it's backtracking platformer and space shooter. You need to take them into your inventory too. No, let's separate it in. Well, I don't know actually. Would it be considered that you go to a different subgame? I guess it should probably save in between. I'm just trying to think of the transition between these games. How will we transition between the games? Maybe we auto save the game after you launch into space. And yeah, maybe instead of transitioning to black, you transition to a starry screen with the main character on it. Hey, Puelo. Perfect emote. Is the perfect emote for that? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. They don't do this. I'm not going to use the word Metroid in here for sure. Yeah. Yeah, sure thing, Miguel. Okay, so I do have to think about the transition between games. We're also going to reuse graphics between the two sub games. At least players' graphics. And I guess the mimic and I guess the items. All right, so I think we are going to call this Sidekick in Space. Even though they're not really the ones who are in space. It's you who goes to space and they just kind of follow along with you. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're calling this backtracking platformer. Or maybe this could just be in the shared thing. Yeah. We could just have a shared folder. Okay. Love it. Let's do it. So we're copying the red graphic over. All of that was just for the sake of figuring out where this thing goes. That's all we've done. Great. Okay. Next, I got to figure out what's the order of this sheet. This, I think, is a little bit challenging to do because we got to line up what these sprite sheets are. Unless they have a guide somewhere. Do they have a guide somewhere? That'd be great. No? No, come on. They don't have it here. There's the source file. Maybe the source file has it listed or something. I don't actually know how this works. No, this is. Okay, fine. Let's go try to line them up ourselves then. So air shooting. This is impossible. Stupid impossible task. We got to find out where this is over here. So frame 2, she's got her hand in the air. It could be this one. In fact, no, there are two of them like that. Oh, man. Maybe air shooting is pretty much the same as regular shooting. No, wait, no. Her eyes in the first frame give it away, right? This is the air shooting one, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's label these because it's going to be impossible otherwise. Air shooting. All right, now we just got to do that another 40 times. Okay, this one is attack. Can I see this better? How do you hide this? I don't know how you hide this. I think it's the one just above here. Yes, this is the one where you're attacking with your bow. This is kind of silly. In fact, if we don't use this, maybe we shouldn't incorporate the entire sheet like this. Da, 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 da. Well, let's go write down our sidekick in space. Polish, cleanup. So add 2 art requests that we need the main character colorized. Before doing that, make sure I've gone through the sprite sheet and deleted or like marked which ones we don't use. The alternative is to just pull over sheets like this. I guess it's easier. Yeah, I guess it's a lot easier. All right, never mind. I take back what I did over here. I delete that. And then let's just add in idle for now, because we definitely need idle. In fact, let's add in all the ones we know for sure we're going to need. We could probably skip out on walk, right? And you just skip right to running. I was thinking, should you even have multiple speeds you can go? Like in Mario, you can walk or you could run. Is it even necessary? Maybe. It might feel better. Could you do that in Super Metroid? Probably could. Yeah, you could. There was a run button. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's add it. All right, so idle, walk, run, jumping we're definitely going to need. Death we're going to need. Attack. Whoops. I mean to do that. Hurt. Oh, no, not attack. It's shooting that we want. Wall slide. Probably not regular slide. And the only other ones that we don't necessarily need. I don't know about falling. What does falling look like? Meh. It doesn't loop. Yeah, it doesn't loop. Oh, I see. I see. It's just meant to be like one frame of jumping, and then you're stuck in the jumping frame until you actually make it somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could put in falling then. So the only thing we're not using then is attack and currently air shooting. I don't know if air shooting even matters. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. All right, I think we're pretty good. All right, so we got the graphics. Make sure I removed any sprites that we don't use. Okay. All right, let's kick this off. So I'm going to put this on Soul, High, Plan. Okay, so I want to add a new subgame. This one is a bit unusual for a few reasons. You first enter this subgame as sidekick, not player. When in sidekick, you'll have a different... Yeah, so I guess like sidekick has different graphics and slightly different mechanics from player. later you'll re-enter the game as player, and then in your second time in the game, you'll eventually find an item that will transition you to a new. You'll eventually perform an action that will transition you to a new subgame. However, this transition should not fade the screen to black. There should be a starry background as you. It shouldn't do anything really. The transition screen should be you getting launched into space. Should be player against the starry background as you launch into space. Should auto save during this time. Also, we need this transition to be set up such that it doesn't incur lag. Should be instantiating the scene right before we need it. Okay. Backtracking platformer. Transition to a new subgame. This one's called Space Shooter. Okay, we need sidekicks graphics too. And I was thinking about this yesterday. We have a werewolf character in here. And the werewolf has, what is this? 1, 2, and 3. What? Okay, anyway, the werewolf has a human form and a wolf form, of course. And the human form might make it clearer that this is the same person you met earlier in the game. So I don't know what the difference between these things. This has a blue shirt. This has also a blue shirt. What's the difference between 1, 2, and 3 then? Skin color? Oh, skin color. Okay, skin color might not matter here either because I don't know. We might just palletize this as well. But let's match at least the one that we had earlier in the game. So yeah, we'll pick this stuff, I guess. This would give a, oh, they have attacks as well. Oh no, as a werewolf. Yeah, as a human, you only have idle, jumping, walk. There is no run. Interesting. Bring back the 2010s. I type my response. I don't know how far back Galaxy Inferno is. Yeah, I think we'll use this. All right, so it's going to be player. We're going to move all these things over there. Yeah, this is a lot of boilerplate at first. Once we get to the actual like game development stuff, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. But hey, you got to do this to get to the fun stuff. All right, so that's player. Now we need sidekick. Sidekick is going to involve these. Let's just take their idle animation for now. And then we need some kind of world. World's sidekick in space. So this is going to be the backtracking platformer. And we're going to add in tile sets from here. And yeah, I think we're going to start. I don't know. It doesn't really matter where we start, does it? Not really. Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday, I had a bunch of little things I wanted to do. And I said to my wife, like, do you want to just do body doubling? Like, I'm in my office right now, and I have a bunch of boxes for things that I'd bought over the years. I had the box for my computer. I had the synth box. I had the new mouse box that I got. I had, I don't know, like the SSD that I got for my computer, my camera, a whole bunch of like stream setup stuff. I don't care about saving these boxes if I've had these products for years now and have no chance of returning it. It's like the mouse was worth keeping for a week or two because maybe I didn't like it or maybe it was broken and maybe I need to return it. But now a lot of this stuff, it's been like I don't know, the SSD was I think 3 years or something. It's like I don't need to keep this anymore. But I also would never just take care of it on my own if I was completely on my own. So yeah, I said, hey, wife, can you come over here? And she did. She just sat in this chair and it took me like 2 minutes. I collected up the boxes. Then we did a bunch of other productive things too. But yeah, sometimes you need that boost from someone else being around. Sometimes they're in a coffee shop. All right, what are we looking at here? This is the dungeon. Yeah, this is the dungeon. Oh man, there's so much here. By the way, why is that end password at the end of this? And where does this lava come from? Oh, props and objects is one of these lava. Lava, here it is. Oh man, there's a lot. Finally got rid of them when moving. Crashing out over my taxes. Yeah. That's when we all need some hand holding. Tax time. Is this an airplane style joke, Cuddlefish? Fern doesn't go up there. Insert evil laugh here. Hide that stuff. I mean, does that mean that you want it still? Because, like, for me, it was just a burden to have this. All right, I guess we had this in. Out of curiosity, what language is this? Is this Portuguese? Yes, it is. And I figured that this meant dungeon. I've never seen this word before in Portuguese. I mean, I haven't learned Portuguese, but I mean, at least some words I've seen before. This one I have not. I don't imagine dungeon probably comes up a lot in like regular written text, unless you're talking about video games. Perhaps. We'll get to that later. All right, so I'll just copy it exactly as it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of want to just name it dungeon. Well, maybe we'll just learn some Portuguese. All right, so I don't need everything in here. So the tasks I want you to plan/do is make the boilerplate for 2 new sub games. Backtracking platformer and space shooter. Have the dungeon racer go to the backtracking platformer as sidekick. After dungeon racers architect scene, go to the backtracking platformer as sidekick. Sidekick's graphics are, yeah, there's going to be a lot of specification. Where's the sidekick in space? Sidekick, yeah, here. Let's do this. Sidekick's graphics are in this. Hey, Alex. Happen to see the Humble Bundle with loads of audio packs? Like maybe interested in that. Do you mind linking it? I did not see it. The tile set graphics are here. Sidekick in space. Ooh. Okay. These are from this itch asset pack. You don't have to exactly copy, like set up a basic scene using just the tiles and no props. There should be a background layer and a 4 tile map layers. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so after... Actually, we're going to need another game that you go to in between these games. I didn't put a lot of thought into the order. I guess the order doesn't really matter. Maybe we should put some thought into that order now. So you're going to enter as sidekick. It's going to be this weird sequence that plays out for you. And you're going to go to another game. Maybe the other game you do should be the falling block platformer. This one's probably only going to last a couple minutes. No, maybe you should go to multiple games in between. Also, what do we don't go to the architect's realm after you do this as sidekick, right? Yeah, I think this makes more sense to do. Okay. Falling block platformer. After backtracking platformer ends as sidekick, we fade to black and enter a third new subgame. Oh, that didn't work. I'm trying to copy. Oh, I'm trying to copy the text or the link, I guess. I just messed that up. Hey, Q's, welcome in, welcome in. When does this end? Where's the offer ends in 11 days? Okay, so I have a bunch of time to look into this. And how much is this for the 12 items? I know you can pay 25. Yeah, 15 will get you. Okay, so it's $15. But where do they say? Don't they have a price somewhere that they say you? I'm confused. Usually it tells you what you have to do to get to each bundle level, right? Strange. What if I type 12 here? No, okay, yeah. So 13, 14. It looks like it's $15. Yeah, it's $15. Yeah, yeah. Click bundle filters. Oh, I see. That's what tells you now? Okay. Got it. Cool. Hey, Sergeant Tim. And Zorp. Okay, so let me copy this down. This would be $15 for those. The 8-item bundle does not have the retro ones, and I assume we need the retro ones if we're going to get anything. But a lot of time... Oh, how do you... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they have a video here. Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, I'll take a look. $15 is a little more expensive than what I'm probably going to get out of it, I'd say. But look through this humble bundle to see if there's anything I want. Man, it feels good to be doing regular game dev again, though, I gotta say. Like, I'm more excited about this and even just getting through the boilerplate than I am about the stabilization stuff I was doing. There's volume 2 as well. Hey, Xyletics. Or, not Xyletics, sorry. Hey, Noob. I was copying Xyletics' name as I'm writing, as I'm responding to Noob. Okay. I should say hey, Xyletics to everybody today, regardless of their name. Fade to Black and enter a third new subgame, Falling Block platformer. For now, don't worry about making any real scenes for Falling Block platformer. I just want it to be in what subgame ID? Oh my God, did I just close that? Oh no. Oh, it's so stupid. Oh, I did not mean to. I thought I was closing the preview. Okay, we might be able to salvage this. Watch this. First, we switch to, I guess this is 1080p as it's going to get. Is it going to get any crisper than this? Yes, very slightly. Okay, great. So now we copy all of that. Oh, this is so stupid. I can't believe I did that. Then we OCR all the text. Whoops. Select the rectangle. I want all of it. All right, this probably got messed up. Yeah, I got a little bit messed up. Yeah, and I messed up the backticks here. You first enter this game as Sidekick, not player. Sidekick has different graphics and slightly different mechanics from player. Later, you'll re-enter the game as player. And your second time in the game, you'll eventually perform an action that will transition you to a new game, Space Shooter. All right, you know, we're going to save this so I can't possibly screw this up again. Plan.md, there, replace. Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad about that. I should have just saved this first. In fact, this is why I was doing it outside of Codex, because I was like, oh, I have a lot to type. It'll be easier to read. And I messed it up anyway. uh... All right, it should auto save during this time. Make boilerplate for 3 new subgames. This, and falling block platformer. Okay. Should just be in subgame ID. I did not add any assets, nor do I want to specify gameplay here yet. All right, after Dungeon Racers scene. All right, this is probably pretty good. Background tile map layer. After backtracking platformer ends as sidekick, we fade to black and enter the third new subgame, falling block platformer. Okay, cool. There's still probably a lot more to say here. Yeah, you'll enter this game twice with other games in between. The first time you play as sidekick. The second time you play as player. All right, later you'll re-enter the game as player, yeah. And your second time in the game, you'll eventually perform an action that will transition you to a new subgame, Space Shooter. I guess I want to add new subgames. The first backtracking platformer has been unusual for a few reasons. Okay. Make the boilerplate for 3 new subgames. Yep. Go to backtracking platformer as sidekick. Tileset graphics are in here. Add sheets to go to these different games. When in backtracking platformer as player. Use the graphics from here. Oh my God, I did it again. That is so frustrating. Okay, so yeah, here's what's happening. It's opening up the preview of this, but it's in the same. Okay, I know what's going on. This did not used to work this way. It used to open up a preview in a new tab or something, or like this, and then I could just close that tab. Now it switches to this preview mode, but it's still the same file. I don't think it used to work that way. But I didn't lose anything this time because I saved everything. All right, use the graphics from player. We even want some basic mechanics here. Idling, walking, running, jumping. And I guess shooting an arrow. The arrow thing's going to be a little bit annoying. We got to take it from here. Sidekick in space. Backtracking platformer. You can edit in visual markdown instead of the code markdown. Oh, really? I don't see that. Maybe I don't have the update, or maybe I'm not doing something right. But that's a very interesting feature because yeah, I really like that in Obsidian. In fact, I want to look that up at some point. VS Code, edit markdown in preview. I'm guessing this is new enough, so let's just say past month. MD editor. Hybrid markdown. How do you access this? Features controlled with this. Markdown default editor in agents window. Wait, that's not. Okay, never mind. maybe maybe that doesn't exist. I'm not totally sure. The arrow is the new projectile.png graphic that I added. Look at. Well, okay, we can transition this over to here for now. What was the other character that we had here? Maybe the top-down shooter was the best one. There's a dungeon racer. How to set up animations and create projectiles. All right, I'm asking this to do quite a lot, and I think this is maybe a little too much. Yeah, I don't need to write that about the whoops. Oh my god, I keep screwing this up. Messing everything up. Ask any clarifying questions you have. Okay. Backtracking platformer as sidekick. Backtracking platformer as player. What else do we have? Space shooter. And what's the other one? Falling block platformer. Oops. And then at some point we want to make the go to game menu easier to use. Somehow simplify the go to game cheats. There will now be 9 of them. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Opening any markdown should use a new editor. Hey, Lammy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's when you're in here in this agents view that you get it. But I'm not sure. Although maybe that means it's coming to the rest of VS Code at some point. Okay, how about let's try this and see what happens. Let's also write down what my usage is at right now. I like tracking this stuff. 82%. Then while that's running, I want to do a couple other things. So one of them is I want to figure out how do you, like, let's say I have this window at this size and I want to get it back to this size after snapping it here. Is there a way to do that? Restore? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So we got to go set a shortcut for that. It can be anything. Well, yeah. Restore. Window. Didn't I wrote this somewhere. Maybe I wrote it on my personal to-do list. No, here it is. Restoring is what I wrote down. Yeah, I want to go figure this out because this is bothering me a lot. All right, so first, what are the shortcuts I use for this? It is Control Alt left and right. Does Control Alt down do anything on my computer already? It doesn't look like it. So I want this to be Control Alt down, which I think we can just set through here. Settings. Where's restore? Here it is. Control Alt down. Nice. Okay, then we open up this and add a new thing over here. I guess let's just click add. So mouse movement down and repeat 400 units down, add. Oh, nope, that didn't work. All right, I think I did it. Is that the same as this? Yeah, and this is restore window. Save. Can I expand this somehow? How do you do this? There we go. So Alt Control up, Alt Control. This should just be a tap, right? And then we got to add in vibration here. 20% continue. Okay. How do we do that? Add vibration 20%. Okay, cool. Save. So let's try that out. Because this is, like I said, driving me crazy. So if I have a really tiny window over here and I want to move it to my other monitor, well, let's say it was on the other monitor to begin with, so you can actually see the result of this. So I can drag my mouse now to the side and then restore it back down. No, it restores it to the other monitor. So this is only helpful if I'm moving this around here and then I put it back down. Is there another action that restores it? There's move to center, almost maximize. Yeah, that doesn't really work, I guess. Aw, man. Maybe there's a setting for it? Snap areas, general. I don't see anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Aw, man. Yeah, oh man. Yeah, that's too bad. Hey, my back hurts. Got the fancy pants peripherals. Yeah, I just got this mouse like 2 weeks ago. I like it a lot. It's just There are still some things I need to customize for it. And this idea is something I've never seen in a mouse before, where you can hold a button and then literally just move the mouse. So like if I want to move this window around, I can just slide my hand left or right, and then up will maximize and down will restore. So I can quickly move things to other windows just from the mouse, which is really cool. I mean, I'm sure this is not invented here, but someone else must have done this or this sort of thing. But still, it's nice that I have it because, like, there, I just used it. You know, how should falling block platform behave in this change, given that the flow and cheat need a destination, but you asked for only a subgame ID? Yeah, minimal scene. I think it's fine. Add a minimal scene, but make sure it has a label saying falling block platformer will eventually go here. That way it's clear to me when we end up there that we just haven't done anything yet. All right, should be asking me a bunch of these. What should Sidekick be able to do in the first backtracking platformer? I guess I could just add in the other graphics. Yeah, I might as well add in the other graphics. So what did I take this from? Right, this is so confusing. Hopefully it was named correctly because I did not even think about this. Man, black hair, 1 idle. Man, black hair, 1. Okay, yeah, here we go. So we should have jumping, walk, falling. Maybe they can get hurt. Can they die? Can they die? Maybe they can. Maybe they can turn into a werewolf too. Who knows? Why not? Why shouldn't they be able to? Yeah, let's just add in these. Add basic movement. I supplied more sprite sheets since you asked this question. Base the movement on the sprite sheets we have. Yeah. Okay, since the eventual player action is not defined yet, how far should this change wire the backtracking to space shooter launch? Build and test the pre-warmed visual, autosave, handoff path. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else just yet. Please don't forget the vampires. Hey, Raimi. And hey, Pretzel. Mouse makes me anxious. The shape looks like a fever dream. What? Really? Yeah, a bit strange to only have it in the agents window. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people would like it. I mean, I think this is pretty neat. I like the general ideas here. And I was debating on like, should I buy another one of these just in case they ever discontinue this mouse? But I decided against it because they'll probably make another version of this mouse by the time this one starts going bad for me. And I'll probably just buy whatever that version is. When I am using the computer, I use these buttons, of course. But when I'm playing a game, I'm using these buttons for left and right click. So I have my fingers in more like a claw shape. But I've been performing worse in the finals, and I can't tell if it's something to do with the mouse or it's something to do with the servers or my internet connection. I'm still trying to figure that out. If I have more than 5 buttons on my mouse, I'm not using it. Oh man, you haven't lived then. Can I have the link? Capybara mouse. Hang on, wait. First, before I give you a link, what is this? Oh man, it's actually the mouse you have. The pickle. Because if so, that's great. It is a Swift Point Z3. I think actually I have a mouse command. Perhaps age. No, I'm comparing from like a week ago to sorry, before I got this new mouse, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, till now. Like something changed in that small amount of time. So it's definitely not age, unless it hit me all at once. Yeah, here's the link. Sorry, I wanted to check and see if it was there. Just messing. Okay, yeah. No, no. Well, I thought maybe you might have interpreted it as like, yeah, I was talking about from a year or two ago. That could be long enough to notice that. Swift point Z3, and I'll copy that link. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I had the gray cat version. I didn't even think about that. No, you have this one? Because if so, it's a very cute mouse. Yeah. Yes, this is very neat. If you do end up buying this, let me know and I can share my config with you, or at least some ideas from the config, because I've customized quite a lot of this. And it's a lot to remember, but I think the most important things, at least in my mind, are a way to close windows and a way to switch tabs. Basically, like you use your mouse in general for navigation and clicking. So a lot of navigation stuff should be on there. And I consider like window navigation as part of that. So I can do this with my mouse now. Like my hand's not on my keyboard. You can see the camera. I switch tabs using the mouse. And do I have any long vertical tabs? No, I don't. But anyway, if I did, I guess like over here, I also will scroll. Obviously you have a scroll wheel, but you can also scroll like super fast. You can do page up and page down. If I remember where I put those shortcuts. There it is. Yeah. My third mouse at this point because they keep breaking. Their quality is so bad. Yeah. Zoom Maya 8K. Is this some like it's only pro gamer mouse? Yeah, neat. I think I would consider something like this if this mouse ever like gets in the way. I I jump in FPSs using my right thumb on the mouse. I just, even though spacebar is pretty convenient, I just don't use spacebar. So I need that in my mouse, and it needs to be a convenient button. Yeah. This has, I think, Bluetooth, and then their like wireless dongle thing that they have. You can connect to multiple computers. It's can obviously be corded as well. And then yeah, a bunch of buttons. You just wrap it up. Which controls should backtracking platformer players use for run and arrow? Analog, run, both shoot. Main action jumps. Stick strength selects walk, run. Either left or right action shoots. This is like the weirdest thing. Right run, left shoot. Okay, the movement that you suggested in option 1 is fine. And jumping should be the main action. But shooting should be the aux1 action. What was that called? Auxiliary 1. Okay, yeah. We spelled it out. Should the player be able to jump away from walls or only slide down them? I think they should be able to jump as well, right? Yeah. Do we want cling as well? I mean, none of this really matters because, again, you're going to be in this game for like 10 minutes. So it's not like you're going to become an expert at the mechanics. I think wall jumping is important. But yeah, I did not think about clinging. I want the slide to slow down the player's vertical movement and then allow for wall jumping up and away from the wall. How should the sample sidekick room end and begin the fade to falling block platformer? Crossing a clearly placed endpoint at the far side completes the visit automatically. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I suspect this is going to take quite a lot of the quota that I have. Wonder why that is. Quake players, for example, sometimes have the most stupid ever key layouts. These are fighting words, Oppressal. My weird key config comes from using weird mice, and that I always just had space bound to a mouse, and I don't know what caused me to start using jump on the mouse for a lot of games. I don't know what that is. Maybe it came from playing like World of Warcraft or something, where jumping, well, at least in the game I played, has almost literally no purpose. There's like one jump you have to do in classic WoW. But I think in the later games they made it like a proper movement thing for evading battles or something. I don't know what. But yeah, it wasn't one I played. Oh, I guess you also used it to swim upward. That was pretty important. In Moxa deck. Remember the bicycle kick? Like Liu Kang bicycle kick? Is that what we're talking about? That's a pretty sweet move. All right, so simplify the go-to game cheats. Let's go take a look at this while we're waiting for this prompt to finish. If it works, it works. Just can't comprehend why some people jump with mouse too, have their moving keys all horizontal instead of an arrow shape. Oh, interesting. Horizontal. Yeah, I never thought about that. You know what's kind of crazy to me? If you played games with a controller, like Smash Bros. For one, and then you get an arcade stick, something like this has got to be one of the biggest transitions you make as a gamer, is figuring out how to actually control your game the same way and have everything laid out like this. And I've seen, I mean, this has a stick on the left side because that's what I searched for, but some of them have movement keys on the left side, like buttons. Yeah, like this sort of thing. Oh, that's probably more for, I don't know what that would be for, actually. I was going to say Smash doesn't really work with that. Maybe it does. I became fly up. Yeah. But I guess what I was thinking was, I think in like one of the retail versions, they added some like you could launch yourself backwards, or you could double jump. Those probably then start to matter a little bit more. But at least in Classic, it was like you're probably not jumping to get any sort of competitive advantage. The first time I saw Quake. Quad damage. Visceral. He scopes to the spacebar. Yeah, I've actually heard of that more and more. Apparently, it's because if you can't control the tension in your hands all that well, then having to hold right click to aim down sights will make you tense up pressing left click. Whereas if you use it with your other finger entirely, your right hand can be completely relaxed. Now, granted, I mean, if you have pretty good control over your own tension and muscles, then you could just use the mouse. But I think it's tough for a lot of people. Should player mode backtracking platformer expose a subgame cheat that invokes the seamless launch API? Yeah, sure. What should the boilerplate space shooter show after a direct cheat or completed launch? Sure, Starfield. I don't even know how it's going to do this. I'm not giving it graphics. All right, let me snooze the ad for now. I want to at least get through the plan. And it might take another like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know. And then I wanted to think about, while this is running, how we're going to change this, because this is already a little bit unwieldy. So let's just take a picture of this so I don't need to keep opening this up. And we'll just quit out of this stuff. Hey, Bot. Did I create that opening screen for the game? From code, I did, yes, but I did not make the artwork. That was Quickie Joe. Do I have a Quickie Joe command? Let me see. No, I don't, but I have a credits command. And Quickie Joe is in the credits. Weirdest keybind would be mouse 4. See, this is the thing. You youngsters and your mouse 4 usage. Yeah, doesn't make any sense. It's just silly. Omega lol. Get good, noob. How's it feel, Oppressal? How's it feel? Okay, so problem. We have a bunch of options in a vertical line. So it's annoying to select a particular one. I think option 1, and probably the easiest thing, is just put them in a grid. So we could have like 5 by 5. So it'd be 25 items. And what's the farthest away something can be? It'd be Manhattan distance, right? 2, 3, 2. It's 4. 4 moves would get you anywhere, right? If you have wrapping. Yeah. I think 4 moves. So like 4 moves at most. If wrapping is on. Campbell Soup. Happy 1 year. Back to my regularly scheduled programming on my usual desk. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too. Thanks for the resub. Hey, Tevin, do you play games? I do play games. I play only really 2 games right now. Well, unless you count a phone game. I play the finals and Slay the Spire 2 on computer. And on my phone, I've been playing this game called Slice and Dice. Mostly just pass the time. I've already like beaten it. But yeah, I really like both these games. Surely I could keep buying a lot of handy stuff if I didn't have a Capybara mouse. Surely you could. A lot of it comes down to preference. I don't know much about Factorio either, but like, let's say we're talking about Slay the Spire 2. Slay the Spire 2 has no time requirement anywhere. You could spend an hour picking each card and it wouldn't be a problem. So like keybinds hardly matter in that game. But the finals, being a first-person shooter, your keybinds matter quite a lot because if you take even half a second longer to do something, you might be dead. So in Factorio, I don't know how that tightrope works. I'm guessing it's not nearly the FPS level, but it's also not nearly the Slay the Spire level. So like some keybinds might be nice, but if you get, even 2 or 3, it probably does a lot for you. But like I said, I haven't really played a lot of Factorio, so I don't know. All right, this has changed the style very slightly. Oh, oh my God, you can just type into the plan now? That's great. So instead of saying no, tell it what to do differently, you could just delete a line from here. Wow, that's a really, really good change. And I only figured this out because I was like, this looks different. If it didn't look different, I wouldn't have even clicked. All right, anyway, add 3 runnable sub-game registrations, backtracking platformers supporting distinct sidekick and player entry mode. Sounds good. Extend the post-dungeon racer progression into the sidekick visit and then the falling block placeholder. Build a pre-instantiated seamless player to space shooter launch that auto-saves without fading to black. Yes, good. Append backtracking platformer space shooter. Yep. Introduce a typed sub-game start request carrying an optional backtracking platformer role. Okay, that might not be smart. Yeah, that might not be smart. I'm just debating here. Should we just make them 2 separate subgames? No, because the world is the same. Could just instantiate the subgame with its ID. I mean, let's do this until we find out that it's a problem. I guess this is one of the nice things about AI. It's like if I do need to correct this, I'm not really going to be the one to correct it. I'm just going to tell AI to do it. All right, it's quite a few keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, but how many are capybara friendly? All right, preserve complete request rather than only an ID. Add a prepared successor handoff event to subgame. Subgame host will detach and adopt an already initialized successor without recreating it or invoking the normal fade from black path. Append checkpoints without renumbering existing values. Preserve legacy completed equals 8. Nah, that doesn't matter. Oh my God, I didn't even think about this. The sidekick preview, neat. So there's no need to preserve legacy values for the sake of save slots. The game hasn't launched, or the game doesn't have any players yet, and I don't care about my own save slots. Do not add natural player mode entry yet. The unspecified intervening games will provide that checkpoint later. Yeah, wow, nice. Okay, subgames. Build a backtracking platform room using only the supplied 16 by 16 tile assets. Separate background and collidable foreground. Short platforming layout with walls suitable for testing wall slides and jumps. Awesome. No assets from that. Far side exit area 2D. Sounds good. Scene authored spray frames for all character animations. Yep. Sounds great. Share core gravity and movement code while enabling abilities by roll. Main action jumps. Input strength selects walk versus run for player. Keyboard movements runs at full strength. Player wall contact slows downward velocity. Main action launches up and away from the wall. Auxiliary 1 shooting animation emits 1 arrow. Awesome. Add animated projectile arrow scene, launches horizontally in the facing direction, keeps normal movement physics independent of player animation, frees itself on foreground collision after a bounded travel distance. Yeah, arrows don't need to have a travel distance, right? They can probably just shoot forever. Arrows don't need to have a bounded travel distance. Well, no, maybe they do. It should just be really large. Yeah, I'll take a look at that afterward. Okay, so arrows are like post implementation. Arrows should basically shoot infinitely. We just limit them in case there's some problem with boundaries. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Also, wow, that entire plan took 1%. That's not too bad. All right, what else do we have here? Add begin space launch. Player mode pre-instantiates and initializes space shooter scene during backtracking initialization. Awesome. The launch replaces the room visually with a deterministic code-native moving star field and an archer launch sprite without showing black. Sure. That's fine. Persist checkpoint during the launch and wait for both the minimum animation and save handling before handing the same prepared scene instance to the host. That's possibly fine. Retains animated star field after handoff. No placeholder label or gameplay yet. Add a minimal falling block scene. Yep, sounds good. Cheats. Add the cheats. Keep existing game navigation cheats intact. Add a contextual test launch to space shooter cheat. Yep, sounds good. No enemies. Supply dungeon tiles may be used and modified. Oh, yeah, and do not modify any assets on your own. I don't want AI art or yeah. Okay, so that's the change. Oh, drat, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just said implement it with these changes because now it's going to replan. Well, I mean, this won't take long, but then I got to read through it again. By the way, I recently got this shirt. I just ironed a bunch of shirts and I was looking at this in my closet and it looks almost identical to another one. But hey, you can never have enough blue shirts, right? All right, we were just waiting for this to finish. This should take another like 15 seconds maybe. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to read this time. I trust that it made my changes that we have. And we'll read the code eventually anyway. So yes, implement this. So we made it to 80% before implementation. I had it change the plan slightly. All right, and that means that I can now take my break. Yeah, so let's let this run. I'm going to put this over here. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again. Close the game. How is everyone's Monday going, by the way? Because, like I said, I'm excited to work on this. You know, a lot of times I wonder, where does that excitement come from? Is it that I'm anticipating people reacting to this when they finally play it? Is it fun to do it? I think it's fun to discover like what goes into all of this and what kind of problems I'm going to have with it. Oh my God, someone commented on the Skeleseller soundtrack. We're clicking heart on that. Thank you very much. I included the sheet music with the game if you ever want to try playing it yourself. You can find it from the title screen. Cool. Well, it's not exactly am I having fun? I think I'm having fun. It's why am I having fun? Because with game dev, it's like I think it's fun to develop, and then I think it's fun to see people play your game, or rather, maybe it's like see people have fun with your game. And I think anticipating that is also pretty nice. But yeah, this is one of the things I was looking forward to with Stuck in a Broken Tutorial in particular, is that we're just constantly making new games. And it's funny that I was looking forward to it because this is one of those like glass half full, glass half empty kind of things. The half empty part is you're constantly making new games. So you're setting up animations all the time. You're setting up tile maps all the time. You're fixing Y sorting in all of the 2D games that you're making. And the glass half full part is, hey, it's freshly fallen snow. You can go make snow forts and snowmen and get into snowball fights. And you don't know where it's going to lead you. Your weekly usage just went down. Yeah, billing so much. No, it went down because I don't know if you're responding to the older thing. Right now, it's running the implementation. But even when I was running the plans, I think it's pretty reasonable that it went down. So yeah, it is going down because it's using it right now. And this is normal so far. At least if I had done this a couple of weeks ago with the usage we got, I would expect this to take probably about 5%. So if we end up at around 75%, that's probably pretty good. I'd be okay with that. But if I'm to believe what people are writing on Reddit, then I'll end up at like 70% instead. And that's a little bit rougher. All right, so anyway, we started talking about this. How else could we make it so you could go to particular cheats or go to particular games? And the only other thing I could think of, like we have, what, option 2, radial menu. This is at most one move, but depending on how many entries you have, it may be very difficult. Yeah. Radial menu online. I want to see if I can test out a radial menu. Playground. What are we looking at right now? Drag and drop. Whoa, neat. But I don't understand what I'm doing. Yeah, I think it's just testing this particular thing. I wanted to see what it'd be like if I had a radial menu with my own custom items. Hmm. Yeah, all right. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, anyway, the whole point was like if you had a circle with 25 slices, how hard would it be to activate like the 14th one or the 17th one? I'm leaning toward a grid anyway. Yeah, I think that'd be reasonable. And maybe we even have maybe we even use character icons from that game and just a word or two to distinguish between other games. I was saying that I am currently using AI, hence why it's dropping. I can't think of any other way that would be easy enough to do because I use this menu quite a lot. I guess maybe like a most recently used cache or something like that. Because that's another thing I need to consider. Even if we had 25 items in this list, what are the odds that you're accessing item 14 all the time? And if you are, should it be item number 14? So yeah, I think we just change it to a grid at first. Change it to a grid. And maybe render each grid item with a sprite from that game. I wonder if that'll be obvious to me. Probably not. Maybe put the character sprite next to each button. Yeah. All right. I think we're good. All right. Mechanics are weird. When you enter again later, you'll be a different character with slightly different mechanics, the different rooms to go between. Oh, I didn't talk about that. When making the Metroid Vania, we have portals going between rooms. I want this to work correctly. Sinistello, happy 22 months. Thanks for the resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so I guess we put all this down here. Otherwise, we're going to blow this out of control. So tasks. All right. So when you're sidekick, we're going to have a bunch of like weird things happening here. Hey, Rami. And I never actually planned out what the weird things are. So we probably got to go take a look at that. Where is this? Yeah, maybe we call this backtracking platform. Oh, thank you too for the resub. Happy 11 months. Everyone subscribing. Feeling good. Appreciate y'all. Okay. Idea of becoming sidekick is perfect. How we advance the story. You'd first enter the game as sidekick. You have basic platform mechanics. Every once in a while, the game would blur and skip ahead. And you'd be somewhere you don't recognize. So you're going through the game, but you don't realize what's going on exactly, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, so some of these should involve falling and getting a game over. I don't think I answered what happens when you die in this game. We need some kind of checkpoint system, right? Did I answer that? I don't think I did. Yeah, what happens when you die? I guess option one is like you respawn in the same room you died in. Option two, we have some kind of checkpoint system. Option three, we start you in the beginning room, but let you keep your items. If we do this, then the beginning room needs to be pretty central to everything. Because I don't want you to have to spend forever getting back. Also, how do you die? Do you just have like one hit and then you're dead? Do you have hearts or something? Like, does falling off the screen kill you? Do you have life/hearts? Do spikes kill you? Hey, Animus, welcome back. Happy Monday. All right, well, what happens? What happens after you lose whatever number of hearts you have? Respawning in the same room. I don't think feels like enough of a setback. Checkpoint system. Maybe every time you take a portal, it checkpoints you. Yeah. Maybe it's every time you take a portal. We don't actually have a portal for this yet. Also, when it comes to artwork, we should probably get a portal graphic. I was thinking that it could have an opening animation and a closing animation. Checked out your YouTube, really inspiring stuff. Thanks. Yeah. I haven't made a video in a while. I want to make a devlog for this game. Okay, I think I like option 2 here. But now, how do you die in the game? I guess the other question is, how much danger is there in the game? I want to add some enemies. Maybe there's like skeletons or something. But how hard would they really be to attack? I'm leaning toward this so that the game isn't so punishing. Maybe your life could regenerate. Or you could find power-ups or something for it. Yeah, maybe you get hearts as you're exploring. Could do a note-taking update. Last video was about Obsidian, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember even what my last video was. I don't think it was Obsidian. I think I did something after that, and I think it's just hard to see them sometimes. Yeah, I did localizing a video game. It's not really relevant to everybody. Yeah, game dev lessons. Some other random videos. So the thing that I'm worried about with a devlog is like a normal devlog would be every update that's happened. This game has a lot of surprises in it, and I don't want to spoil those for people, but they'd be exactly the kind of things I would be highlighting. So it's like if you cover only the boring stuff, then the video's not interesting. If you cover the most interesting stuff, then the game might not be interesting when you finally get to play it. I guess maybe the best way is to cover interesting stuff that we've done since last time. And because I haven't done a video, that's everything. But eventually it means that each video won't contain the entire game. And yeah, if you watched every single vlog, you'd probably ruin the game for yourself. Yeah, so I haven't figured that out yet. Also, I'm guessing we are going to use more. Yeah, okay. So I do think we're burning through more than we would have. I think something has probably changed here. We're now at 73% during implementation. Yeah. Well, just let it run. Just see what happens. We have to still answer these questions anyways. It's not like we know how to move on. The life and hearts thing. Super Metroid had energy. I forgot what Hollow Knight had. I played very little of Hollow Knight. Let's just look at the UI. Maybe the UI will tell us. Yeah, there were hearts or something at the top. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably what we want. Yeah, I think that's fine. Or maybe killing enemies. Killing enemies could give you hearts back. The game doesn't have to be super challenging. Now, when it does come to the enemies, we don't have that many, right? Like the bat, for example. fire. Yeah, there's an attack animation, which is them swooping at you. I mean, the animation looks fine. The problem is we only allow you to shoot arrows in one direction, right? So, like, you'd have to jump next to this thing and then shoot it. You can't just aim upward. I mean, maybe we give your arrows a little bit of homing. Maybe that's one of the upgrades you get. Maybe that upgrade then impacts you when you're in the space shooter game. Your arrows could curve toward enemies. Is that too much? Might make the game a little too easy. Maybe you could enhance the homing abilities. Well, at some point we got to add in enemies. Add enemies. Maybe we add bats. In the room with bats, you get a homing upgrade. The homing could later be affected by your space shooter power-ups. What other enemies do we have? Goblin. What do you do? What is that, a bow? I can't even tell. No, it's a club. So they'd have to walk up to you and attack you? I'm not really able to figure out how any of these characters would be difficult for you to fight. Like, maybe they run really fast. But otherwise, you have a bow. You could just stand far away and shoot them. All right, what else do we have? Mage. Okay, the mage could potentially do something. I think this is supposed to be a player character, but yeah, they could cast spells at you. Do we have spells that they cast? I don't see anything. Yeah, we just have the animations for the mage itself. We need to add a fireball or something probably. Could rush you as a large horde. Yeah, yeah. That could potentially be the case. And there are just a bunch of them. So maybe you can't shoot fast enough. But I guess the other question is, like, are they also platforming? Like, do I give them the ability to jump over gaps? Otherwise, you would just, like, run and jump away. We'll have to see how that feels. What about this stuff? Archer skeleton. Okay, this could potentially work. They have... Yeah. If they have their own archer characters, they could shoot arrows at you too. Do we have any others? Slime King, slime animation. What do these look like? Melee attack for a slime. Oh, neat. They jump. They look like apples. It's probably easier to just go over here and see them all, right? Here. So yeah, slimes. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is just like... Well, what I like about the mushroom is that it doesn't even look like an enemy at first. It just looks like it's there in the ground. And then it springs up. What I don't want to have happen, and this is what I'm worried about. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want people to just like shoot everything before they approach it because they're like, oh, this is just like the top-down shooter. Maybe we should make it so that you can jump on some enemies to kill them. Like the mushrooms, I think that would fit pretty well. Maybe they're immune to arrows or something. Yeah. Maybe the mushrooms are immune to arrows. And you have to jump on them. Or maybe an arrow splits them into 2 enemies. And they'll chase you. Okay, so it is done with the implementation. It got down to 71%. Let's go take a look at this. steal your bow and give it back. Well, you don't have any other attacks in the game, so I guess you need to be able to jump on their heads too. Otherwise, that's it. They steal your bow and you just lose. Man. Discourage players from spraying arrows everywhere. The power-ups in this particular section of the game are only going to come from treasure chests because they're like player-altering power-ups. So like imagine getting the boomerang in Zelda, but you shoot the boomerang with an arrow. Now you can't get the boomerang anymore. It would be really, really punishing. But if the power-ups are like a rupee, a bomb, an arrow, then yeah, you could destroy those. But I don't think we're going to have a lot of those. That would happen in the space shooter, but there's already going to be probably a lot happening in the space shooter. All right, so let's go take a look at what this did. It modified quite a lot. And we have a bunch of graphics that we just have sitting around now. All right, so we're going to go over here. This is old code. I just want to beat this and see the transition. All right, now we got all the power-ups. So let's dash through this thing. Should be at the end. There we go. Okay. Great, don't care. Yeehaw, look at this. This is just like Luna did. It puts the character higher up than the tile, and then you can't actually jump on these things. But that's fine. We just needed something here. It tried. It tried its hardest. It's almost like you can make it, too. You just can't. Hey, Scholar. Hey, Squirrel. Have I tried Yahtzee? No, I haven't. I haven't considered getting a different file manager for any reason. I'm guessing it does something that's impressive or nice. Rage bait level. I mean, yeah. It would be sort of funny if you literally couldn't make a jump in the game. All right, we should copy all of this. So we got to fix this problem. I guess this is all like post-implementation stuff. Make sure arrows don't fade out too quickly. Fix the jumping as sidekick. You don't jump high enough. And then fix the camera process. This should be pretty easy to figure out. As long as I can figure out which game it's coming from. Sub game. I mean, we can just look at the new camera. Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Walks out and hands you jump boots. Yeah. Oh, you need these? Game completed. Yeah, man. All right, fine. Let's go find... I'm guessing like sidekick should be one of these things. Maybe it's just backtracking platformer player. Yeah, character here. All right, so gravity, jump velocity. Let's just raise the jump velocity by a bit. Yeah. And by raise, I mean increase the magnitude of. It's actually lowering it. But maybe this will give us one more tile of jumping. Change games to this. Yeah, nice. Now we can actually make the jump. Now that I don't know if we can do. Where does it think the tile ends? Okay, at exactly the boundary. So if we stand like right there and then, oh man, walked right off the edge. All right, whatever. When in doubt, cheat it out. Hey, method. All right, so now we can jump very high. This should definitely be enough to make us over this wall. Good. And then do we, yep, okay, so we just walked there. Falling block platformer will eventually go here. Cool. Okay, so now we come back in as player. Now we have the ability to shoot arrows. How far do they go? Oh, wait, what? My arrow doesn't come back? It needs to get deleted before I can shoot another one? Is it just still traveling over there? What happened? Yeah, I can shoot one arrow. I think it's that I'm stuck in the animation still. Use it wisely. All right, so making it to the end of this probably doesn't matter, right? Also, I have walking animation. Do I have a walking animation? Is that it? I think so. Yeah. The head moves differently. Oh, I have wall sliding too. Oh, neat. It's using the wrong facing direction, but that's pretty cool. Oh, that's super cool. I really like that. So we need to make it so that you cannot, like, this would let you infinitely climb. Like, let's say there was a wall that went infinitely upward. You could just keep doing this because you can keep getting more height. We need to either stop that or, oh, interesting. You just need to be at the wall, not pressing the button. Yeah, we need to either stop that or we need to put like some vertical or a horizontal barrier up here so that you need the high jump boots at some point. But yeah, it looks very cool. You can just fall off the edge. Wait, can you? Yeah, you can just fall off the edge. Oh, funny. Funny. Oh man, this looks super cool. Yeah, the pause screen doesn't work. So we're just stuck here now. Okay, well, lots of little weird things going on. But that's okay. We just needed some of the basics. Feels like the intro to Bubble Bobble. I wonder if we made a Bubble Bobble game. It's what we would do. Okay, so you can only ever shoot a single arrow. This part we kind of fixed. I mean, we need to lower the platforms eventually. The basic structure is working though. So let's go lower. Where is the character? Yeah, let's set this back to what it used to be, negative 300. It'll make it impossible to play, but whatever. And the wall slide faces the wrong direction. That I want to try one more time. So here. Yeah, so when the wall is on your left, the character looks like they're sliding down on their right side. When the wall is on the player's left, the sprite used makes it look like they're sliding down a wall on their right. And vice versa. All right, the only shooting a single arrow. Let's go take a look at that. Also, all these string names here, man. Yeah, reviewing the code is going to certainly be another thing we got to do. All right, where's auxiliary action? Here it is. Can shoot. So where is can shoot set? If you're the player. Okay, so that's always going to be true then. And try shoot checks to see if you are shooting. So this never gets set back to false. So we don't check for the finish of this thing. It should get set to false here. On animation finished is shooting. Is it looping? Is that why? Let's go take a look at that. Oops. So this is backtracking back. Oh, right, you can't do that. Backtrack character. Here we go. Okay, so sprite has player shooting. This does not loop. Are we not listening for this? No, we're listening for it. Okay, so what? Is that not getting hit? Let's debug this. Because yeah, I am curious about this. Like what's going wrong here? Yeah, so here it is. This is true. Now we set it back to false. So something must be setting it to true again. Try shoot. This is, I think, the only thing that sets it to true. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's get rid of that breakpoint. Let's hit play, and then let's go set another breakpoint right there. All right, so this gets hit. We go into here. We are not shooting. We set this to true. We has released projectile. What's this used for? Oh, I see. Then play animation, the shooting animation. Why is it stored as a string name, I wonder? I see, because there is no shooting animation there. That's kind of stupid. But nothing checks to see if we're on the right frame here. On frame change, if not, is shooting, has released projectile. Okay, so this is what we check. Now the frame should change a bunch of times. Yeah. Zero is less than this. So we're eventually going to get this to be 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we should go past this, right? What? We are shooting. Has released projectile got set to true. Oh, because of the 2 time. Okay, never mind. We did it here. So then we instantiated this and initialized to probably the wrong position. Maybe that's our issue. Yeah, I should just put a breakpoint there. So try shoot gets hit. Now it should go into, yeah, create a projectile. So this is probably incorrect. 117, 275. And what is responsible for listening to this thing? Projectiles, I add child projectile. Okay, what's the player's position? Global position is 99, 280. Yeah, this is pretty close. What is the problem with this? Huh, strange. I'm not seeing the arrows that are getting created, but they are apparently getting created. Oh, now it's working. I didn't do anything. Oh, I see. You can, okay, I understand. This is why we saw this happen. All right, I know exactly what's going on now after looking through the code. So if you just stand there and shoot, your animation will finish and you will be able to shoot another arrow. But if you move in the middle of it, your animation for shooting never finishes because now you're in a different animation. So I would need to exactly wait for this to finish every time and not try shooting like 2 arrows at once. Yeah, because then it breaks. Okay. So what we should do is just allow you to shoot an arrow after a certain amount of time and not check animation states. If you do anything other than allow your shooting animation to finish, you won't be able, excuse me, to shoot another arrow. Excuse me, I had to cough. You won't be able to shoot another arrow. You should probably just base whether you can shoot on how long it's been since the last arrow. I don't know what we should do about the animations there, though. If you're running and shooting, we don't have a running and shooting animation. Oh, man. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, this sucks. So we have to do one of like 3 things. Option 1, play the shooting animation regardless of what else you're doing. If running, it would look like you're sliding along the ground. Option 2 is play the movement animation regardless of whether you're trying to shoot. So it would never actually look like you shoot an arrow. I think this is bad. Option 3 is allow you to interrupt shooting with another animation, but don't create the arrow unless you're still in the shooting animation. And option 4 is make custom artwork that allows for moving and shooting. I think I'm leaning toward option 3. So you could shoot as long as you stay in the shooting animation. Do we ever use jump shooting in here? Player shooting. No, it's just that. All right, then what about the arrow fade out time? Where is that? Backtracking arrow.cs. Maximum travel distance is 480 times 480. So it's just 480 pixels. 480 pixels is 30 tiles. So we probably can't see this. But if I just open the scene, we should be able to see it. What's this called? Backtracking platformer? Oh no, is the foreground set up through code? Oh god, I don't like when this happens. Yeah, ugh. Okay. Instead of setting up the backtracking platformer tile map layers through code, do it through Godot. All right, well, we can still see what positions it's trying to put these at. Set cell. Okay, so it's cells, and the cells are based on the tile size, and I don't know what the tile size is. Let's go find it. Yeah, here we go. All right, what are we looking at here for like one of these? This one, for example. It is 16 by 16. Okay, well, I don't know why I even looked at that because we know that it's more than, well, no, we didn't know this, but yeah, it's more than 30 tiles. So you will see the arrow just disappear unless it fades this out. No, it just disappears. But I don't know if you can practically see it in the game. It might be that you would have to like wall jump faster than you actually can. Oh, this is gonna be practically impossible. Yeah, it's gonna be practically impossible. Also, we need some coyote time thing for jumping. So I want to shoot in that direction and then run over there. Yeah, I think we saw it disappear. All right, take care. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for joining. Hope you have a good trip back from the coffee shop. Arrows should fade out after traveling their maximum distance. Actually, really, we should just make their maximum distance be so long that you can't see them. Yeah, I'll just change this. We'll just set this to like 1,000. So 1,000 tiles times 16 time. No, actually, let's just do 1,000 tiles. Yeah, it's fine. So 1600F. Yeah. Just far enough that you'd never see this happen. Yeah. In fact, we could even set this to some just like, I don't know, the maximum possible float value. All right, so implementation. Yeah, the arrow thing that we have. Okay, what else did I realize as I was doing that? There was some other thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the coyote time thing. Take care, you too, Animus. Have a nice day. Thanks for being here. So we're done with this. All right, so let's have this make a few little changes here. So there's a problem with shooting arrows right now. You have to remain in the shooting animation and let it finish. Otherwise, you won't be able to shoot another arrow ever again. If you start shooting and then move afterward. What I want to happen is if you're still in the you need to remain in the shooting animation if you want the arrow to fire, but canceling out of it for another animation will let you start the shooting animation again eventually. Hey Verse, and hey Cakes. I did not see the raid. Sorry about that. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in everybody. I always think vibe coding needs a little bit of a definition. I think one of the definitions could be that you don't understand coding and you're using AI. And I think another definition could be just you're using AI to do coding. So I am using AI to do coding. I'm going to review the code and everything, and we're going to make some changes. Like for this, we found a bug in how shooting works, and we went and figured out what's causing the bug. And then we have the game design problem of figuring out what do we want to have happen. And I think the ideal scenario for a game like this is probably that you can just run and shoot. But I think that would actually make the game probably too easy. I think it might have been a joke. It might have been. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to react defensively here. I hope it doesn't sound that way. But I've heard a bunch of people come in and ask like, "Are you vibe coding?" So there's no tone, there's no context, and it's unclear to me what they mean exactly. So yeah, if your definition is using AI to code, then yes, this is definitely vibe coding. But yeah, for those who have not seen my game, I know I do this demo a lot, so I'm not gonna belabor this, but it's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and it is a collection of other smaller games, all of which are broken in some way, usually some way that's kind of like funny or unusual. So yeah, you're in this regular tutorial, and the very first thing you encounter that's broken is trying to make a jump that's impossible. So you can land on this terrain over here, but you can't land on all of it, and you will eventually fall through the terrain and hit this very glitchy segment. I'll stop it so the encoder doesn't totally screw this up. And then, yeah, you'll go from here to other games. So what we've started working on is our new sub game. We have a Metroid Vania style game. A lot of this is just, I've just started setting this up now. So you can't even make these jumps. So this is impossible to play right now. And you're not even really standing on the platforms. But yeah, oh, and I got to write this down. I got to fix the collision here. Fix platformer collision. You don't actually fully land on the platforms. Yeah. You need to remain in the shooting animation if you want to fire the arrow, but canceling out of it for another animation will let you start the shooting animation again eventually. Okay, let's have it do that. Then this one. Do it through Godot. And this one. And then, yeah. If the player tries jumping, if the player walks off of a platform without jumping and then presses the jump button within 2 frames, I still want them to jump even though they'd be mid-air at that point. Yeah, so this is the coyote time thing. So all of that, let's go trigger that stuff. And then the collision we'll do probably manually. Yeah, man, I'm just still so concerned about this shooting thing. It almost makes me wonder if you shouldn't even play as the archer. No, you kind of have to. Yeah, you kind of have to. Because you eventually get into space shooter mode and the warrior wouldn't have a projectile. And that would do bad things for the gimmick that we have for that particular game, where you walk into enemies to get them as power-ups. Man. We got from here, though, to the new game, right? Can you skip this? You can't skip this, but I can speed it up, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And then this we don't have. I'd like to code that game too, man. I want to work on all this stuff. Also delay gravity for X amount of time. Yeah, so part of in that intro I kind of mentioned we're making this game that's really like a collection of sub games. Each individual sub game may only last for like 1 to 30 minutes. So if you were making just a Metroidvania game or just a platform or just a racing game or just a space shooter, it's like you'd expect a level of depth that lets you master these controls. Because you're only spending in this particular game maybe like 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, it's like, well, how do we just make it a little bit easier for you? Just a little bit more kind of friendly to the player. So if it turns out that, yeah, we should also delay gravity for this too, we could do that. But if it's like, well, you know what, people aren't really missing their jumps, they're making it just fine through this place, I think that'd be okay. One of the problems that comes up when designing games like this is I'm still not totally sure what exactly I want to do about difficulty. I don't want the player to have to select the difficulty, and I don't want anyone to find the game to be so hard they can't beat it. So like, how do you make something just difficult enough for like, I don't know, 80% of your player base? Hey Kyle, howdy. Howdy. Yeah. But hey, that's why we do play tests. If I get play testers who are like hardcore gamers and they're like, oh, this game just isn't fun, I think, well, for one, I think we're just not catering to that crowd. Excuse me. I think it'd be kind of hard to do. It's like there was some Yoshi game, right? Yoshi's Woolly World. I did not play this, but I think this was, I don't think you could even die in this game. So if you're a hardcore gamer, first of all, you would probably not be like, I'm going to go play Yoshi's Woolly World. But also, you probably just expect after playing a level or two, like, okay, this is not going to challenge me. This is supposed to be a relaxing game. So I got to communicate that here too. Okay. What else did we talk about here? Yeah, man, there's a lot that I have there. Scala Cellar Easter egg. This should be for the loot boxes game. We could add the skeleton from Scala Cellar as a shopper. He could come over and buy stuff, maybe leave through the portal. Cool. Possible one life for grindable, so it's easy with time. Yeah, so that's I think a good route of doing things. One of the other things I want to consider is this whole collection of sub games. It's like I don't want to apply the same difficulty smoothing mechanic in each game. So we do have one roguelike game already and one that's kind of close to it. And then the other 3 games that we have so far don't have any difficulty. So we have, 5 games so far. 3 have no difficulty whatsoever. Or, yeah, like no real difficulty. And then 1 is a roguelite. And then another is kind of a roguelite. So with this particular game, this is going to be in the style of like a Metroidvania kind of game. And I think the difficulty is like, is any single room too difficult? And if so, what do we do? And I think what we could do here is we could just give you more hearts. Or we could spawn a power-up somewhere in the dungeon that gives you a shield or makes you invincible or something. I don't know. Hey, Trackley. Yeah, I'd probably go this route. This is in my mind, this is like the Mario route. This is like the you failed too many times, so we'll remove the difficulty for you. And depending on the game, I think this works. For Mario, it definitely works. It's like, hey, you died 3 times. Let's start you with a Starman. I saw in whatever that game was, Astrobot, that it just advances you to the next segment. You don't even. I think you could probably beat most of the game by just dying enough times, which is a funny thought. Like most games, you beat it by beating the game, or you beat it by playing as a pacifist or something. But beating a game by dying, by losing intentionally. I think that's probably what we'd apply here. I'll write this down. Consider how difficulty should work in this game. Perhaps we should go the Mario route where we make the game easier if you die too many times. Or maybe there could be a power up hidden somewhere and we give you a hint for how to get it. That power up could just keep raising your life or something. Yeah, it's like hey, you could choose to raise the difficulty if you want. Actually, I just kind of thought about this, and a friend of mine has been playing through Tears of the Kingdom. The way that power-ups worked in this game was you beat shrines to get orbs, and then 4 orbs could be converted to a heart. Or I think a stamina wheel. And you could just opt to not do this conversion. So if you wanted to play the whole game with 3 hearts, you could, or 5 hearts, or whatever the minimum is. And with the minimal stamina wheel, you could do that too. And yeah, my friend started doing that at some point because he's like, oh, I'm already too powerful. I don't want to keep increasing the power level. I think this is not something that every player would exercise though. And I think this is like, I don't know, if you gave a player the option, like you start in a world, let's say you're playing any RPG and you've got a level system, and in the first hour you're like, here's a vial of immense power, and it's like plus 1,000 levels to your character. I bet most people would use this. And maybe they'd use it out of curiosity, like, what does it mean to get 1,000 levels? Oh, it means you get 1,000 levels, and now you're super powerful and you're killing everything. If you had some like prompt afterward and said, hey, do you want to reset this and go back to level 1 again? Maybe some people would do it, but other people might be like, no, you know what? I want to play a game like this. So, yeah, I think that's the difficulty, giving people a choice, I guess. Not too difficult. Steam bots can farm Steam points. Yeah, this game will be casual. It's just a question of like, do we ratchet up the difficulty in some ways or add more difficult sections? I think we can always decide a lot of that later too. One of the other things we got to do is go through the design document and figure out which other tasks we're going to want. Add it, hide it, and let people spoil the game by being spoiled. I'm not sure I understand that part, Verse. What do you mean? Add difficulty and then hide it? Oh, the level vial. Okay. Yeah, I see. Interesting. Yeah, I think this is definitely burning through faster than it used to be. Well, the first prompt seemed like it was. This one's not too bad. As long as it finishes soon. Want this to work correctly, so it should just spawn you in the new location. It can fade to black for now, although it should be a pretty quick transition. All right, is this almost done? Should be almost done. Huh. I wonder what it's even looking at right now. Hmm. I should have saved the coyote time thing for later. Yeah, I should have saved it. Oh, and then I got to figure out where this camera process is. Let's go take a look at that. Can I do this? Get diff RGI camera. No. Oh, right, because it's not even. It'd be in one of the scenes that we added. All right, well, it should just be the platformer, right? Where is that? Here. Yeah, we just set this to physics. Done. So that's backtracking platformer. Where is the scene file? Here it is. And we should see a camera in here. And process callback is what I'm looking for. So I guess it's anywhere that we have type equals camera 2D. So I'll just search for this. Why is that not working? Whoop. There we go. Done, 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 and now done. Yeah, okay, that's everything. All right, so this has been finished. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then where I left off, validate the AI changes, which, by the way, what do we end up with? Okay, 68%. That's not too bad. Yeah, we're going to validate these changes and then review code and check in. And the soup. Already, is it jump time? Is it? It's jump time. By the way, really fast, for those who haven't seen this, you can type join in chat to play, and then J and a number to jump. I'll be back in a little bit. See you soon. Hello, Bruno, ABC, Horforia. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Close the game. Okay, so we were going to take a look at this. And hey, Mo2. All right, let's go hit play over here. So we added in proper wall sliding, proper shooting. Let's go try these things out. So yeah, now if you, whoa. Yeah. Okay. And then yeah, this is kind of weird. All right, well, you can make it over here. We should probably do something to make sure that you're not like, oh, I don't know, like how much of the wall is to the right of you. But yeah, that feels pretty good. Hmm. Yeah. All right, let me try the coyote time thing. Okay, it's really hard to know if I'm even testing this correctly. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's working. Hey, TJ. You did get trolled. Hey, it even called it coyote jump, even though I didn't call it that. Wow. All right, well, let's set it to a higher amount of frames. Frame count equals 20. So this should make it so that after I fall off the platform, I can just jump pretty much whatever. Because maybe 2 frames is too tight for timing. I don't actually know. I wouldn't expect it to be that tight. Okay, yeah, this is I can like obviously fall off the platform and then press the button. You can do it even like way out here. You're basically just double jumping at that point. Yeah. It's funny. Okay. Well then, yeah, 2 is just too small. Maybe 3. I'm just gonna keep nudging this up by 1 or 2 until we find a thing that feels correct. Okay, this is at 3. This definitely feels like I've fallen. And it feels very permissive. No, hold on. This can't be 3. Yeah, I can like completely fall off the edge. Hold on a second. Oh, whoops, I changed the wrong thing. Whoops. That was supposed to be 2. This was supposed to be 3. Yep, my bad. Okay, I was just testing the limits of this. So it's definitely not 20 anymore. I think what's too difficult about this is like the platform is not aligned with me right now. We got to go fix collision on this. Player and sidekick are both instantiated here. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, the collision shape is huge. And same thing with sidekick. Oh no, that was it. So this added all these animations in the sprite frames. I think it's fine. And then over here, the foreground has a bunch of tiles. Let's click any of them and figure out their physics. Nothing. Oh, because it's these. Still nothing. It's probably only some of these that got changed. Because there is a physics layer here. I don't see shapes for these, though. I don't see shapes for any of these. That's strange. Yeah, I mean, obviously collision is working. Maybe it's just different. No, yeah, strange. How could it not be set for any of them? Let's just pick one of these tiles. Okay, there it is. It's the third from the bottom. I gotta click the third from the bottom. Does this have a physics shape? Yes, this one does. Okay, so some of them do. And I just couldn't figure out which ones do. And you know what I'd love is for there to be a way to see the physics shapes in here. And I think there's a way to do that. I just don't know how. Yeah. Okay. Well, so the tiles are not incorrect. They all take up their full square anyway. I think it's fine. So then we would need to lower the foreground tiles over here. I could also make this look a lot prettier. Let's go look at the pack. Do they ever use long segments of... Yeah, they do. Where's that tile? I don't know. I'm not going to figure this out now. I don't care. Yeah, this is good enough. So when we start the game, they should fall downward. I can see the pixels moves the character does. Not continuous. What are you talking about, Moxie? I'm not sure I understand. You're saying this doesn't look continuous to you? Or is it something else? So if you jump as soon as you touch a wall, you don't even really enter the wall slide animation. We should probably require you to be in the wall slide animation for at least like a couple frames. And then yeah, arrows don't shoot out of the right spot. We gotta fix that too. So the muzzle position is wrong. Player shooting and muzzle. Muzzle goes like there. I don't know. Yeah, let's just try there. It actually should probably be back where the arrow starts because it's got to be the center of it. This isn't bad, but I think we lowered another pixel and send it to the left a little bit, and then that should be better. The horizontal jump is a bit off. What do you mean though? Can you like say the whole thing as one line? How is it off? What are you expecting? Hey, Nicholas. Do you have anti-clipping code through walls? Because that's an issue for platformers. No. Also, I mean, if you end up clipping through a wall here, I'd be pretty surprised because this is just like Godot collision being handled. I know what you're talking about with Super Mario Bros, but that was done in a very different time. Looks like it's sliding horizontally. Oh, I think I know what you mean. All we have in terms of a jump animation is just 3 frames. But this doesn't like break my immersion or anything. I think everything's kind of fine there. All right, so muzzle position is wrong when you face in a different direction because I guess we update the muzzle. Yeah, here it is. That's our problem. Okay, so this is 6-3, and when facing left, it should be -6-3 probably. So 6-3 and -6-3. Try to jump, go left, then right. You might see the horizontal sliding. Like midair. Because I think that's fine. I don't know, like I said, I don't see anything majorly wrong here. All right, something is still broken though with a muzzle position. What is going on with this? We only have those 2 things, yeah. What is going on with this? Did I just make up a number? 6-3. No, that's correct. What? Why is it shooting out of like the top of the the bow then? Oh no, now it's correct. Oh, maybe I just didn't save something. Oh, I see. When you turn left, it messes up. Muzzle dot global position. What is it before this? I just don't get how I could screw this up. We're setting it based on the parent sprite here. Okay, so here we are. The muzzle position is originally 6-3, and we're setting it to 6-3, right? We call set facing every single frame now. There we go. All right, so now if I shoot this, oh, it's already messed up. Okay, so that means that we must set this to something else now. Strange. Strange indeed. Maybe one of these is changing it to something. I would like to watch this. Why is this disabled? 6 -3, 6 -3. Oh, wait. 6 -3. Oh my God. 6-3. Oh my God. How many times did I read this? I'm losing my mind. Yeah, wow. It's 6 pixels too high, and I just kept reading -3 as 3. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, now everything looks fine. Yeah, I think it's pretty convincing arrow flight as well. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it is a little bit kind of unresponsive when you go to shoot. Well, and also you can interrupt your shooting frame with another shooting thing. We got to stop that. So this is done. Changes. You can interrupt the shooting animation by shooting. This should be prevented since it makes your character do nothing. Why is it upward? That's a bit confusing. Is it sprite based? This is just the coordinate system of Godot. So like if I just make a new scene here and we drag literally any graphic onto this. So like this, for example. So here's an icon, right? If you look at its transform and I just hold the down arrow, lower Y coordinates makes it move up. And like I said, that's just how Godot works. You don't, I mean, you can make whatever thing you want out of this pretty much. You could have some translation layer, but like you can see the origin is 0 here and positive. Well, maybe you can't see this. I don't know if it's too small. But yeah, negative is upward, positive is downward. There might be some setting to change that. I think this is just one of those things where you're like, oh, that's how it works, and that's what I get used to. But that wasn't even my problem. Wasn't I didn't understand that. My problem was literally I saw -3 here and just read it as 3. I don't know. I don't know what caused that to happen for me. Okay, so I think we have enough that we can check in. The sidekick cannot wall jump. Also, you eventually need to unlock the ability to wall jump. So if I go into here, this is impossible for you to move forward. Yeah. You cannot make this jump. And you can't wall jump, so you are stuck here. We could just lower the platforms. Although, don't we need another platform then? If you can only jump up to a height of here, that means you can jump 4 blocks. So then 1, 2, 3, 4. You would not be able to make it up here if we lower that platform. So the gap below it has to be 2. And then the gap here will be too high. So yeah, we need to add another platform if we do that. I mean, it's fine. We'll do it, but it's going to change a little bit. We could also change the jump height. So let's put that there. Let's put this over here. And let's put another one of these right there. And then we don't need to worry about anything over there. That can be for wall jumping. And then the last thing I'll do is make this be fully enclosed, so that you can't go beyond the bound. Yes, this is still world's ugliest platformer background. But yeah, you can wall jump your way all the way up to the top. You can't shoot from the wall. Yeah, now without wall jumping, you... Ooh, that was interesting. So if I come back... Whoops. Right, then you get stuck. If I come here as sidekick now, I should be able to make it all the way to the right side. I did not consider horizontal jumping, but yes, we have enough space so we can do it. Now you can't make it up to this platform. That's fine. And then once you hit this invisible thing at the side, you just disappear. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, all in all, this is working pretty well. So now we're at review the code and check in. There was one other change I think I wanted to make. What was it? Oh, yeah. You can't pause or cheat when you get to the space shooter. All right. So which graphics did we not use? So I'll set this to Luna. Give me a list of assets that we didn't use from this commit. For example, we didn't use spikes. Spikes.png and stairs.png. Yeah, we didn't use that either. I think there should be a lot. Should just be everything in the props. Right, I can just go delete props. Yeah, what do I care? So are we in the right spot for this? No, we are not. Whew, don't want to delete them from there. Worlds, sidekick in space. All right, there we go. So are there any assets we're not using now? Are there any assets that show from get status that we don't actually use yet? The death animation should be there. So this is our test to see if this is even working correctly. It should print out both the death animations and then their import. So at least 4 files, possibly more. And it's the possibly more that I'm running this for because I don't actually know. All right, death 1, hurt. Okay, I forgot about hurt. We can keep that in. Pillars. What is pillars doing? Oh, are those in here? They're not? Oh no, there's one. It's got a banner on it. Okay, interesting. And it's a background thing. Do we want to keep that? No, let's just put this in polish. Make the world look good. I didn't include any, what is it? Props and something. What do they call it? Props and objects. Props and objects folders. Also for the dungeon, we don't use the pillars.png. But we should. Okay, so for now, yeah, sure, delete pillars. I'm not going to delete the hurt animation or the death animation. We can keep that. Because we are going to need that eventually. All right, so sub-game. Backtracking platformer. You know, now that I think about this, we really don't need to say any instructions for this. Where did I write this down? Yeah. Okay, looks good. So subgame start request now includes some extra data here. Yeah, I think it's fine. Hey man, triple digit temperatures over there. I'm not envious of you. And it was kind of sad what it was Casey who said this, right? I think that like he used to go for walks near sunset and now it's just unpleasant. Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. And I was reading about Dubai. You learn to just deal with it. Yeah, apparently like temperature in Dubai. It's 101 right now and it's 9 p.m. for them. I guess it's not too different from Texas. But apparently it gets to be like 120 at some points. It's just crazy. At that point, you're kind of just confined to being inside all the time, right? Oh, wow. Oh, I'm at this address, 1234. No kidding, I'm at 1235. Okay, this is good. Change to, yep, that's fine too. Does it say change to X game? Like the word game shows up in this? Because I don't really mind too much how cheats look. Yeah, it does. This is kind of pointless. Yeah, so instead of change to X game, it should just say game as sidekick or something. Yeah, I think that's better. Where is that? Change to X game. It should just say X. Cool. You can go out, it's just miserable. Wear the right clothes and work around it. The right clothes being no clothes, because if it's 100 something degrees out, what is actually comfortable? Real shame. Another heat wave week. You must not be in the US. Where do you live? Or like what country, if you don't mind sharing? Because, yeah, there was a heat wave, what, about a month ago, a month and a half for a lot of people. And yeah, a lot of people were coming in here, UK, yeah. A lot of people were coming in here and saying, like, is it hot where you live? And I'm like, no, not really. Just if you're walking to and from your car only, yeah. Yeah, actually, something I never really thought about is like, what are people doing for like kids' sports? Are people playing like t-ball and baseball out in 100 something degree weather? Isn't it dangerous at some point? Sixth heat wave of the year, man. And Agnes, they play, and the adults are all just like, call it. It's the first inning. I don't care anymore. Yeah, man. They just play in the AC. Well, they play in the AC if it's indoors, right? But like kids probably can't be indoors all the time. There's probably some like, cheapo field nearby they can go play at, but it's swelteringly hot outside. Wow. All right. Anyway, this looks good. This is good. We don't actually have any cheats for it yet, I think. And we don't have cheats for the next sub game. That's fine. I don't care about that. Yeah. Return to title screen requested. This is good. This is all fine. All this is still cheat stuff, though. Backtracking, platformer, sidekick. Huh. We don't have a save point for when you come back as player. Although we need many different save points for that. I gotta write that down at some point. Portals should act as save points. Yeah. Any more security job? It's a rugby tournament. For kids still? Security for their games? Or is this for like professional players? Man just standing in a parking lot with a band uniform on in 100+ degree weather. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you get used to it early enough, maybe it's not so bad. But it definitely sounds bad to me. Preview definition. Okay, so this is if we saved, which I never tested. Yeah, we never tested this. So if I go over to here and wait, we don't have a way to save. I would need to start a oh, that's not good. The save version got bumped? That's not good. All right, well, I'll test that part later. I want to check the save slot thing. Yeah, the current save version should not be changed. I wonder what it means now if I have save slots from version 2, because I have one of them, and then I have 3 from version 1. So now what? It's going to say incompatible when I'm on the version 2 thing? Because I never thought of downgrading. It just says new game. Oh, wait, no, maybe this didn't exist. Okay, my bad. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Well, that's something. All right, so let's set this as something obvious. Let's set it to like bright pink. And go into here and then here and skip through this. So now we should be, yep, game saved. We should be able to go to the title screen and see Sidekick there. Perfect. Yeah, nice. Okay, then we have to go to this space shooter game, which, how do we get there? That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, it didn't work. I want to go to is this even correct? I don't remember how we get there because I don't think going over to here does anything. Maybe it does. Oh, no, it's a cheat. There it is. Okay, game saved. So now when we go back to the title screen, which we have to quit and re-enter, right, then we should see the red archer on the character select screen. Nice. Nice. Love it. Hey, Spolster James. Ahoy. Why is Sidekick so rugged? So, you know why? Is because in this pack, we have a bunch of different characters. Sidekick needs to be one of the human ones. So either the knight, the mage, or the werewolf character as a human form. And I felt like this lets you see the hair of the character to further know that it's Sidekick. Because I was originally going to go with a knight and then just change the colors of the armor. But I wasn't sure that'd be obvious enough. But I'm actually not certain, do we want it to be obvious at first? Like, imagine you had Sidekick in the farming game has whatever, like a red shirt and I don't know, a green hat or something like that. And now the knight has red armor and a green shield. That would be very subtle. You might just be like, yeah, those are the colors that they use. They're just bright colors, whatever. And then dialogue could make it clear that, oh, that's Sidekick. We met him before. Or we make it very obvious. It's like, oh, same hairstyle, same skin tone, same shirt, same whatever. And then dialogue makes it extra obvious. Because I think the knight would be too subtle. But if we do end up wanting subtlety, we could go this route, I guess. No, Sidekick can't have main character energy. That would break the game. You can only have Sidekick energy. All tales are about player. All right, this is all fine. What else do we have here? This is the sub game, yeah. Sounds good. This is fine too. Yep. All right, backtracking arrow just has a speed and it shoots. Body entered, queue free. Sounds good. Queue free there too. Start position so that we can tell how far it's traveled. Yeah, we could also just do this based on time. Just physics process could add a number. It really doesn't make a difference. I don't think arrows are ever going to be able to travel 1,000 tiles anyway. And we just made it literally impossible in this room because we put the whole room inside of a rectangle. So at most you could travel from here to here. And I don't know how many tiles it is, but it's not 1,000. What is this? Backtracking character, that's fine. Oh, I did change the sprite frames. Did that cause a problem? I don't know. I don't really care. Yeah. Dig into the lore and they miss it. Well, I can't have them miss it. That's for sure. So it's a question of like, should they be able to detect ahead of time? So if you see this character 4 or 5 times and then you finally see them a 6th time, you'll be like, oh, it's that character. Sidekick you will have seen once like an hour beforehand. This is probably pretty easy to forget. In fact, I don't know how we're going to transition into this game. Are we going to say like meanwhile as sidekick? Because if we did this, then it'd be very, very obvious that like, oh, I'm playing a sidekick now. But if we just had you play as a different character, maybe you'd have to realize what's going on. I kind of like that. I kind of want there to be some mystery around that. Yeah. I got to make sure that I used... Make sure I acted on Quickie Joe's response to... about the header artwork. Oh, you know what I never checked? Do we have a Steam page up? I don't know why I didn't even think about this. No. Oh man, isn't today like business day number 4? It's not concerning yet. But when did I submit this? August 12th. But I don't know what time. So it's pretty much been like 2 full business days. Maybe 3. I think it was in the morning. So like 2.5 business days so far. Yeah. It does say 3 to 5 business days. And even if they were, it took 7, it's not a problem. I'm not waiting for this because I need it for something else. I'm waiting for it because I'm excited. Giant arrow. Sidekick here. You are sidekick. I need to update the title screen. All right. Backtracking platformer. Active character. And deactivate just hides them and sets their process mode to disabled. That's fine. If active character is not null. So we deactivate them both here. And then we say that it's not supposed to be nullable. Because in init we set an active character. So I guess just delete this. Actually, just delete the whole thing. And then what is this? Underscore equals delta? I don't even know why that would be there. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Initialize with their role. That's also fine. That means that they inherit from the same thing. No, they are the same thing. Begin space launch. Yeah, we don't have that yet. We don't have this. We don't need this stuff yet. On exit area body entered. What? Oh, exit area is the name of this thing. So on player exit, maybe we call it. On player exit. Yep, cool. Looks good. All right, next. Backtracking platform we looked at. Platform character. I looked at some of this. This apparently never needs to be public. floor block on wall? If true, the body will be able to move on the floor only. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything unusual here. Yeah, I don't see anything unusual here. This I'm not super happy with. Like, we don't even need a shooting animation if we're at sidekick. I guess it needs to be set to something, but that's only true if you're shooting, right? All right, well, whatever. It's not broken, so I'm not going to touch it right now. Rest of this is fine. That's fine. This is, yep, fine. Fine. Backtracking tiles. It's okay. Character frames? Character frames. We save this to its own file? Sure. Yeah, this has nothing in it. We have a scene with nothing in it. We have the new graphics, probably a bunch of these. I'm not going to go through every single one of those because they're just graphics. Graphics. And some code in here. This does nothing, right? Yeah, this does pretty much nothing. I don't care about most of this right now because this is just placeholder stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. Whew. So if you leave in a bug, is it technically a feature because it's a broken tutorial? Clever solution. Yeah, there are no bugs in this game. The only totally bug-free game that's ever existed. All right, so add new sub games. This is mostly boilerplate, but there are basic platformer mechanics in the new game. This is all prep for Sidekick in Space, which is a collection of the backtracking platformer and the space shooter. You enter backtracking platformer as Sidekick at first. Then you later return as player. And what else? Yeah. Sounds like a plot for subverting the player's expectations. Yeah. You just asking me a yes or no question. It's broken. Do you fix it? And they either game over or they win. Howdy, Jesta. So, yeah, something I had not really thought about too much. We have that falling block platformer that I mentioned. We haven't started coding this yet, but the game starts on a platformer. Then you play some other games. And then you make it to the Metroid Vania game. And I was going to have the falling block platform in the middle, and then Metroidvania 2. I think it might be too much in terms of platforming. I think you might want some other mechanics. Now, that said, this is not the final order for the game. And very few of these games have storylines playing out in the middle of them. The farming game does. So we will just have to rearrange these eventually. I got to think of how to do that. I do think there's going to be a close to best order in terms of variety. Because it'd be a shame if you went from like platformer to platformer to platformer. You're like, I don't want to do another one of these. They're too similar. All right, so the next step is to go through to the design document. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's pull all this together. I gotta pull in some tasks. This is a game where you enter as sidekick, you later enter as player, you get the high jump boots. All right, so at some point we gotta add the high jump sequence. So what I'm picturing for this is the room itself should have How do we do this? Because we only have so much vertical space on the screen. And we need some obvious reason for you to want to jump up there. Yeah. The room itself should have an exit off, or not even an exit. Yeah, an exit off the top of it. There should be horizontal platforms that make it obvious that you're going to get the high jump boots. So this is room design. And there should be some platforms preventing you from wall jumping your way up. Or we change the wall jump mechanics such that you can't infinitely climb with them. I think Super Smash Bros. Did this. You could wall jump off a couple different walls, but then your height lowered and lowered as you kept doing it. So you could only maintain your horizontal, or you can maintain your vertical position and just move horizontally. Whereas a game like Mario 64, you could just keep jumping off the walls and get as much height as you need. I mean, not that was limited by how tall the walls were. But yeah, I think they had some segments in the game where you were intended to jump like multiple times up the walls. Like in Wet Dry World. All right, so room should have an exit off the top. There should be horizontal platforms that make it obvious that you're going to get the high jump boots. In fact, maybe you even have to platform upward to get to the high jump boots. And then the exit design is going to be you jump upward very quickly. There's eventually a ceiling. There are exits off the left and right sides that you've already blown past. Intended exits. Maybe the game enters slow motion so that you can see yourself destroying the ceiling as you go through it. You continue rocketing upward. If we had slow motion, it stops at some point. You create a bunch of debris as you like tear through the world. Hey, weird dudes. Mean a game designed by subs? Yes, that's exactly what it means. Now, this is what I'm calling what other people might call mini games, because they're not all mini games. Like, mini game to me means it's something you play for a small amount of time. But some of these they're just like small games. But mini implies very small game. And I think WarioWare called them micro games. And they were like 5 to 7 seconds or something. But yeah, other games, I think of a mini game as being like, just not the main idea. Doesn't last for long. But it's pretty much the same terminology, I guess. Is there a core gameplay loop, or is it just mini games all the way down? Yeah, it's mini games all the way down. Yeah, so there's core gameplay within each mini game, and sometimes they're just fun standalone games. Sometimes it's for story. Sometimes it's for the sake of a joke. Oh yeah, I think making one of the games be very, very short could be kind of funny. The card game we're going to make in this checkpoint is going to be very, very short, but not that short. It'll probably be like a minute. And I think that'll be fun. All right, you create a bunch of debris as you tear through the world. You emerge into the open air. And then you keep rising until you hit space. Yeah. Really need to build up the fight in the card game. Gotta let you know the stakes. Gotta let you think you're gonna do a card game and have a bunch of fun. All right, so add treasure chests. Each chest contains a permanent power-up. And we need some way of indicating that you got the power-up. I'll just put this as a question for now. How do we indicate which power-ups you're getting? Add an inventory screen. Vacuum the whole house. Take out 3 bags of trash. Shower, making sure every droplet of water touches your body. Too smooth brain to play the card game, not enough skill. I have played a small number of card games in my life, and I think the one that stuck with me the most, well, I guess the two that stuck with me the most are Hearthstone, which I played for like a year or two or something like that, and then Slay the Spire. And I keep typing Sprite. And I tried Monster Train, and once you played a few card games like this, you start to understand some of the terms and some of the commonalities, like tempo and what are the other? There are like 3 main things in card games. God, I can only remember tempo right now. Anyway, when I was playing Monster Train, it felt like almost a Slay the Spire mod to me, and I lost interest pretty quickly. The balancing was just a bit different. Aggro control. Yeah, but there were some other terms about the like macro resource usage. What am I thinking of? Value. Yeah, tempo, value, and there's a third one. I don't know. I can't remember. Let me just look this up. Maybe it's just those. Maybe there's no third one. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the whole smooth brain part. So I think part of it's just like what resonates with you the most in terms of mechanics, in terms of aesthetics. I played Slay the Spire 2. Yeah. Sorry, I should have put 2 in brackets here. Yeah, I haven't seen that video. I did used to watch Trump SC though. I not back when he played StarCraft, apparently. Only when he was playing Hearthstone. I like those days. I like when Crip was streaming too. Yeah, I'm still playing Slay the Spire 2. I'm playing a lot of the custom modes, and I don't know. I still find it fun, but I think the custom modes are like they're very difficult for me to even balance. I find myself toward the end of some of them wanting a boss that just has like 10,000 HP just to see would I be able to beat them. But that's not an option. All right, so how do you die? Do you have life or heart? So we're gonna need to add UI at some point. Add UI. You have hearts or life. You get hearts in the world or by killing enemies. Add dying. Play the death animation. And then restart you at the last checkpoint. Add new biomes or add new rooms. These are essentially the same as biomes. You would take a portal to get between them. And these should act as checkpoints for when you die or load from your save file. It probably doesn't need to, well, maybe it could say that it's saved every single time. Should it say auto saved every single time you zone out to somewhere else? Be Ascension 9 on the silent. At some point, I mean, I played for a lot of hours, but I beat all the like the main game with all the characters. And some of those I think I got kind of lucky. Like there's some strategies that are just sort of broken and assemble themselves. I wonder if it'd be easier now that I've played even more. But yeah, I don't like playing on those modes. I like playing on just like the custom ones. Well, I do play on Ascension 10 on the custom ones, but they're like super broken and sometimes very easy to win. All right, what happens when you die? Yeah, you respawn. All right, so what other sidekick stuff? We got to flesh that out. Flesh out the sidekick section. So there should be a bunch of glitchy stuff happening, but it's actually just you losing your agency. They're like, the screen should blur and you should just be in a new area. Maybe an enemy shoots you and you die. You respawn somewhere else. Eventually, I want to be careful about this. One, I don't want to make the player dizzy, but like we need to communicate that you are essentially losing your mind. So what I'm picturing is, let me load this up. So you might try making a jump and like you can, and then you try making the next jump and the whole screen just like blurs and now you're in the desert and there's like a scorpion in front of you. You're like, what? And maybe your character even has a question mark above their head. Like, what's going on? And then the screen blurs and like you're in a new place or the scorpion has defeated you or something. Maybe there's even a question mark above your head. Enemy shoots you and you die, you respawn somewhere else. Oh, you know what? You should lose control at some point. Yes. At some point, your character should just start walking on their own. What else did I have written down for this? Nothing else really. So how do you leave this? Maybe the screen keeps getting blurrier and blurrier. I kind of like that idea. Like your vision is clouded almost. Yeah, so after this happens, it's when you've almost totally become an NPC. The screen gets blurrier and blurrier until, yeah, we then like unblur it. Well, we can't unblur it like that, I guess. We need to, yeah, we fade to black and you enter a new game as player. So this should be motion blur, which is pretty quick. This should be like vision blurring. You just literally can't see anything anymore. You start out jumping or like moving and jumping. There are actually platforms that you can reach. We maybe put a Cuphead tutorial reference in here and make it look like that starter level. Oh, God. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. You get to a point where it motion blurs you ahead in time. The first sign of you losing your agency. Enemy shoots you and you die. You respawn somewhere else. It blurs, or it can even say game over. You respawn somewhere else. At some point, your characters should just start walking and jumping on their own. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, love it. Okay. All right, so then at some point we got to do meeting sidekick. That happens before the high jump sequence. You encounter you encounter sidekick at some point. It doesn't have to be where you last saw sidekick, but it could be when you played as him. Yeah. An ad's about to start. I will take another break. Yeah, I'm on a roll here. I don't really want to take a break, but hey, it's a tenant. All right, fine. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, have fun playing Jump Royale. Again, you can just type join in Twitch chat if you want to play. I'll be back in a little bit. Hello, hello. Close the game. And hey, okay, so let's see where we left off here. Yeah, so meeting sidekick. Yeah, there we go. This is the whole conversation that we have. A human? Wait. Hmm. Like another human all the way out here? Wait, that sounds familiar. Is that you? Sidekick? Sound effect should play like you just revealed a secret. Use the one from room 4 or room 3 in Dungeon Racer. All right, we got to flesh this out a little bit. You got to take them with you. Yeah, you got to take them with you. What are you doing out here? Doing here? Yeah, so they'd say like I don't know. I feel like I just woke up from a long slumber. So the player doesn't know this, but Sidekick tried to leave this game and couldn't figure it out. So they got stuck here, like literally stuck in a broken tutorial. And you are there to rescue them. And in this particular case, I don't want them tagging around as a separate sprite, but you need to save them from this game. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that you put them in your inventory. So they become like an item in your inventory screen. Because you eventually turn into a spaceship. It's very wild. Maybe we say like it's like being jet lagged or something. They can't really act on their own anymore. I Also, you got to find them before the high jump boots. Let me think about this. Yeah, like it has to be before the high jump boots, but it should probably be 1 to 2 power ups before it, not right before it. Take her with him. Isn't Cortana software though? Doesn't that make sense? In this case, you are taking this other character with you, but you're without you knowing it, you're going to be taking them into space. And the way you got to space was with high jump boots. So you would equip the boots and then you'd launch yourself into space. It wouldn't make sense for Sidekick to do the exact same thing. So it probably makes sense for you to have just like, yeah, put them in your inventory or something, which I think is a silly thing. I think it's funny. So yeah, I think we'll do that. This actually happens in Link's Awakening, as far as I remember. I think one of the items you could get was like Marin at some point, right? Am I wrong about that? I could have sworn at one point you like held Marin above your head. Hmm. You know, there's a strawberry in here. That would imply that your items transcend games. So I'll write this down as an idea. I say probably don't. Hey, Sinstella. I expected you earlier today. Did you sleep in? Don't you recognize me from the farming world? I was the one with the strawberries. What are you doing here? I don't know. I feel like I just woke up from a long slumber. Are you all right? Are you okay? Have you already asked this? Are you hurt at all? No, I just don't. Hmm. Just, just stuck. That would actually be. Maybe that's too on the nose. Maybe lost. Do you know the way out? No, but if you come with me, we can find it together. That would be nice. Thanks. I do need the help. And then, like, you add sidekick to your inventory. Yeah. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Fell to heaven. Oh, did my resub? Oh, right. Sorry. I even clicked your name because I'm like, am I misremembering this? I could have sworn I saw Sinistello, and it doesn't show me the resub messages when I look at your chat history there. I feel bad, Sinistello. I'm sorry. All right, cool. So now you add them to your inventory. So there should be no way for you to skip this process. It has to just be in a room on your way to another room. Also, this has to be unskippable. It's just some room on the way to another room, not a secret passage or anything. Little button or icon in the top right, like the fairies in Zelda get, and they'll give you hints or flavor text. That would be kind of funny. I'll write that down. Also, you know what else I want to do, which I'm going to write down here somewhere? Like, fix my copy from Twitch Hammer Spoon script so that a single line doesn't get copied with new lines on either end. Okay, spaceship. There is no spaceship. You're just floating in space, shooting arrows at spaceships. And in Space Shooter, you should be in the new sub game with hopefully no lag in transitioning. And you should still look like an archer. Oh, but your animation's gonna change now, right? Oh, no, but you could just shoot constantly. Maybe you can now hold down the fire button and you'll loop through the shooting animation and also fire arrows on practically every frame. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Actually, yeah, we do need some. We do need some arrow shooting sound. And in space, in space, none of this makes sense. You wouldn't be able to live without a space suit or a spaceship or something. But you also wouldn't be able to fire arrows. But we don't need to explain that. It's a video game. Yeah. And I'll write this down here. All right, this is the same world. What happens when you meet Sidekick? How do we connect the biome? So portals. That do I have to think about portals here? Add new rooms and portals. What happens if you don't jump where you're supposed to with the high jump boots? Oh, right. We got to add a mini map. Oh, my God. Add a mini map for the high jump. Make it clear that you are supposed to jump upward. And once you leave the dungeon, it should break the mini map in a comical way. Maybe it just shows somewhere in space. Quiver turns into a thruster. I think you'll just propel yourself somehow in space, and it just won't make sense. We got to talk about the mimic dialogue as well. But at that point, we're pretty much in a new game. Okay, UI of a life bar, mini map, inventory screen. Yeah, we talked about all this stuff. Technically, I guess the inventory screen should be here in UI. All right, treasure chest, traps. Yeah, we gotta add traps to the world. Add traps all over the place. Different tile sets have different traps. These traps would probably be better than adding enemies all over because you can just shoot the enemies. All right, so power-ups. Yeah, we got to add boots. Let you can jump. Maybe a bow. Oh God. Maybe you get arrows. Yeah. Lets you shoot. Or a quiver. More boots. I don't know. You can wall jump or wall slide. You can slide on walls and jump off of them. Teleport ability. This was like you step into the shadows with a puff of smoke and appear in front of you, like appear 3 to 5 tiles to the side. You can bypass some walls with this. Attack upgrade. You can, your arrows gain homing or you shoot multiple at once. Well, and or could be both. Grippy socks. Well, maybe you put the socks over the boots. They're just comically large socks. But I'm probably just going to use whatever graphics we already have. All right, regeneration or armor. These could be optional. Regeneration / armor. This could just reduce the difficulty of the game. It could be in a hidden spot. Armor is instead of the slide ability. It makes you immune to some kind of trap. Yeah, maybe the armor makes you immune to fire. And you can walk through fire traps. Or maybe you can now go to the desert biome without getting hurt. All right, other potential unlocks. Air shooting. Go to unlock air shooting. Maybe this is optional. We could force it to be required. All right, and the inventory screen should have a bunch of grayed out items in it. Should have a ton of grayed out items in it to indicate that you'll get all sorts of things, but you actually won't get those things until maybe the space shooter. Yeah, it could be that you press aux 2 to trigger hints. Okay, cool. So we've written pretty much everything down, and then once we get into the space shooter, we need to change everything up. All right, look at the space shooter list in the game design document and collect all tasks from there. All right, now where is the space shooter game? Here. Ooh. Yeah, ooh. This is quite the undertaking. Yeah, then the other thing we got to figure out at some point is what will the world look like here? And part of what we got to plan with that too is how much of this can even be outside. Because like we have, if you look at the asset pack here, where'd it go? You have ones like this. I don't think there's a lot of verticality planned into this. Because the background is just like mountains and clouds. I guess you could still platform up. How did Mega Man X Chill Penguin map? Okay, they use different backgrounds. Yeah, here they've got like a snowy wasteland in the background and some sky. And then here the background changes that you're in a cave or something. And, oh no, it's the same background. It just has more levels of the skybox. Okay, if there's a problem with that, then we might need some new graphics. Do we need new like skyboxes to accommodate the verticality? Also, you know what else? In terms of art, I should write this down. Ask Quickie Joe for better platformer graphics, maybe. I want something that allows for verticality. The yeah, so the background should represent that somehow. Oh, okay. Well, we should probably kick off something because it's about to be lunchtime. And that way, while I'm at lunch, AI can be doing something here. We're down to 68%, by the way. Crazy. Okay, well, I'll do this here. All right, so what should we kick off first? So this is done. Fade to black, portals access save points. Didn't I already write this down somewhere? Portals should cause the screen to quickly fade to / from black. Did I have a command for that at some point? I thought I might have. I did. It launched Animal Royale, right? I wonder if it still does that. I should try that at some point. Yeah, so I think we do the sidekick section. So this is pretty much done. Start out moving and jumping. There are actually platforms you can reach. We maybe put a Cuphead tutorial reference. Okay, let's take a look at the Cuphead tutorial. I guess it's pretty basic. Also, yeah, I guess it's pretty basic. It's just a small platform and a large platform, and you have to jump from the small platform or else you can't make it. I don't think we should try to aim for this exactly. If we do, though, with the graphics that we have, we'd probably just make a small pillar and a tall pillar, and that would maybe communicate this. and that would be your starting screen that you have. I do think it'd be funny. Okay, yeah, we probably should do that. It would just be a small pillar and a tall pillar. Users who aren't phone verified can't send messages. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I have some setting on, but I don't know what it's set to right now. I could try to take a look. But hey, Zoe. Well, actually, maybe I can't take a look all that fast. Moderation settings. Chatter permissions are set to default. All right, so here's what I see in my mod settings. Chatter permissions default. Oh, wait, no, I have it set to custom. What do I have this on? Chatters without a verified email must have accounts older than a week. Chatters without a verified phone number must have accounts older than a week. Yeah, so maybe you're logged in on a brand new account on your phone. Or no account. No, it had to be an account, otherwise you can't chat, right? Yeah, so this is what I have set. Does this seem like it's what was affecting you? Logged in from a new account. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's intentional. I think most of the spam accounts that we had seen were new accounts. Also, when someone is a first-time chatter and they say something unusual, I do tend to check their account age. And yeah, more often than not, if an account is brand new, it means something is wrong. Like an account on Twitch being brand new and coming to my stream is not very typical. It's not like I've got like 5,000 viewers or something at a time. And it's not like software and game dev is that popular. So yeah, it almost always means that like I should watch out for that person. Okay. So let's start to set this up. So when in the backtracking platformer as sidekick, I want there to be custom mechanics. Yeah, I want to portray that sidekick is slowly losing his mind. So add a region. I guess start by splitting the, or start by separating the tile map layers into their own room scenes. That way we can transition between rooms smoothly and not throw every environment into the same scene. When at the exit area, when at what is currently the exit area, in the first room, it should motion blur transition to a new room that you create using a quick motion blur effect. This should happen without lag, meaning the new room should probably already exist in the scene tree somewhere. In this new room, there should be another region where yet another motion blur effect will happen and transition you to a third room. Make it perfect, no errors. Don't second guess yourself. Do what I wanted to say, not what I actually said. Yeah. Hey, Fontable. Receive Hyperactive's Corn keyboard. Should snatch one of those. You'd love it. Let me take a look. I was actually looking at keyboards recently to figure out like would I actually want a Zimmy, and I don't think I would. It looks just kind of unfinished to me. This is just a wireless corn, right? If I'm going to buy another keyboard, I want there to be the next keyboard I want would be wireless, yes, but I want there to be an encoder and a trackpad or trackball. And I have not seen a keyboard, and I want it to look nice. So the closest I found was the Zimmy. It's wireless. It has trackballs. You can put those little Circ trackpads on it. It's got an encoder. So like that's cool. I like it, but I don't like that it's a 3D printed case and it looks kind of ugly. And these trackpads look pretty ugly too. The trackballs look nice. But I don't know for sure that I want two trackballs. So then what I was looking into is the B-Key Toucan. Yeah. This is decent. It's got the trackpad. It's wireless. It looks a lot nicer, but it doesn't have an encoder. I want an encoder. In fact, instead of that screen, if I had an encoder, that'd be pretty nice. Hey, Bedhead. Yeah, I've seen the Halcyon. I don't recall what it looks like now, though. Yeah. Do they have one with fewer keys? Because 50 is way too many. I don't see a way to change that. But they don't have a trackpad. They have... Wait, no, they don't have a trackpad at all, right? They just have one encoder. Yeah. What do you want or need the encoder for? It's just the nicest way to change volume. Like I have keys on my keyboard that'll do it. Like I'm changing volume right now and it's comfortable. I just like spinning a knob. I guess it's not absolutely necessary. But yeah, some kind of pointing device I think would be kind of nice. But yeah, even then I don't know for sure. And I was debating on like recreating. Someone made this software where you enter some kind of like mouse mode and it divides your screen up into regions and then you type out which region you want the mouse to go to. And yeah, I think it might be neat to make that. But I don't know. I don't want to maintain that stuff either. And I don't want to, yeah, I don't even know if I'd like it. Hey, Air Hogan. If I learn how to bring the Vania, I'll let you know. Thank you. Yeah, sorry for missing your message, by the way. Okay, so in this third room, Sidekick should start to move and jump on his own. As you should no longer be able to control him. The screen should slowly blur, not motion blur, just regular vision blurring. More and more over the course of like 10 seconds. During that time, Sidekick is still walking to the right and jumping occasionally, maybe onto platforms. Yeah, when the screen has fully blurred, most intense blurring. I said I would just fade to black. Hey, hang on a second. Is it like blur effect? Let me just search for this. I'm trying to figure out like what's the best possible transition. I guess you could just keep pixelating and pixelating it until it becomes a single color and then fade out from there. Does that even make sense? How do you blur something in Affinity? Let me take a look. Blur filters. Okay, so let's say we had a scene. Let's just take a picture of this, for example, and put this into Affinity. And then apply a blur effect. I don't know what I'm doing, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. How do you do this? Blur filter. Pixel filters. Yeah. Pixel filters. Blur. Maximum, minimum. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. So let's just click Gaussian. So if you blur this a ton, it eventually becomes like one color. And is this the kind of blur that we want? Because if so, we can do that. It'll become, yeah, pretty much one color. And then we just fade out from there. What else would look good here? Average? Oh no, that's not what we want. Diffuse glow. I don't know what this is even doing. I think we just want a Gaussian blur. Bloom. I'm just going to click these things until something happens. Yeah, I do. Let's just not even, unless I'll try like one or two more, but lens blur. What's this? A lens blur is actually kind of interesting. Number of blades. Let's just stick with the Gaussian blur. Definitely prefer this trackball list and encoder list. Top-notch Corn keyboard. Case alone feels so top quality. Yeah. I'll probably try wireless at some point. I've been happy with this wireless mouse that I have now. And just the amount of stuff this thing can do. Oh, I see. But did they have a version of this keyboard that had... Oh, they do. But do they have 3 thumb keys? Oh, this... Yeah, so I guess I should just list out what I'm looking for here. It's, yeah, wireless, encoder, trackball or trackpad. It looks nice, and 36 keys. Like exactly 36. Hey, Tobias. Also, I'm not necessarily looking like right now. The Toucan is pretty close to this stuff. It's not exactly close. But even that costs like $400, which is why I'm not looking. I've mentioned this in the past, but if it was like $20, yeah, I'd probably have bought it today. But I'm not going to spend $400 on a keyboard when mine's working just fine. And like every wireless peripheral you eventually need to charge. And while you're charging it, if you're using it, it's just a wired keyboard at that point. So like I could clear some of these wires off my desk. I don't know how well you can see these in the video, but I can clear some of these, but I can't clear the one connecting the 2 halves. Well, I could get a nicer looking cable for that, I guess. Is Colmac a requirement? No. I could always change it through software or the firmware to be Colmac. Well, actually, I wonder if I should still use Colmac. I've been on it for long enough, and I feel like I'm typing reasonably well, but I still feel like I'd probably just be faster with QWERTY. All right, let's finish writing this out. What are you doing? When the screen is at its most intense blurring. Okay, so this should slowly blur. Just a Gaussian blur. It should fade to black. When it fades back in, it should transition to the next game, I guess. What is the next game? We could just get over there and find out. Look at this jumping. Funny to me. It should just be the platformer thing. Falling block platformer, yeah. All right, so this is everything. When in the backtracking platform sidekick, I want to portray that sidekick is slowly losing his mind. Start by separating the tile map layers into their own room scenes. That way we can transition between rooms smoothly and not throw every environment in the same scene. Note when playing as player will likely be in a different set of rooms. Wireless is garbage. Not sure why everyone's so hype on it. Yeah, clinical. So for me, I just like the cleanliness of it on my desk, like the not cleanliness, sorry, the how clean it looks. And yeah, it's nice not having a cord for just normal computer work. For gaming, I plug my mouse in directly, and I use a different keyboard anyway. But yeah, I'd like to not have these cords because there's like a mess of cords on my desk. I don't know if I have a picture of this. I have the video at least, but in the video, I probably cleaned my whole desk up. Do I zoom in on this? Yeah, I do. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. You see this mess of cables back here? It's even worse right now. Yeah. All right. When at what is currently exit area, I should transition to a new room. Should have without lag, meaning the new room should probably exist in the scene tree somewhere. In this new room, there should be another region where in the third room, Sidekick should start to move and jump on his own. You should no longer be able to control him. The screen should slowly blur. During that time, Sidekick is still walking to the right and jumping occasionally, maybe on the platforms. When the screen is at its most intense blurring, he should occasionally idle for roughly 1 second. Screen just slowly blur. This should be the first half of the transition to falling block platformer. You're in a new game. Okay, let's leave it at that. I am probably not going to even have this planet. I'll just have it do it. Yeah. Well, no, clinical. What I'm talking about is like I have my water bottle. If the water bottle is on the cord, which I've done sometimes, I literally cannot pull the mouse to move it. I'm not talking about latency necessarily. I'm saying it gets snagged on things. Yeah, and yeah, also that what Sinistella mentioned, but that's rare. I had one of those braided cables and it had like a little like a nylon hair or something sticking out that would get stuck on the edge of something. I don't know what. Man, that was super annoying. But I'm surprised you say wireless is garbage because what your argument sounds like is the common arguments against using wired is garbage. But wireless itself is like a very obvious, hey, there's nothing here. I can move this around. I can bring this to another computer and not have to plug it in, those sorts of things. Or even like I save a free space in my USB hub because I can connect it to another computer with Bluetooth or something. Like yeah, it sounds like your argument is I don't like what people use as their justification, not that any of those features are bad. Anyway, I've kicked this off. I am about to go out past noon. When did that happen? Apparently 9 minutes ago. Yeah, I am gonna go eat some food. I'll be back in about an hour and I'll stream for another couple hours. We'll see how much progress we make on this stuff. Yeah. But yeah, for now I'm gonna get going. Hey Aditya. Sorry for leaving right when you arrived. Yeah, take care everyone. I'll be back in a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you'd like to join Discord, here are the links. And I will see you soon. Bye everyone.